it's an incredible storyline for him.
I think it's very important that, you know, when you're given an opportunity, you go into a very experienced roster, you know, player go into Enterprise originally, you're going to be put into a system and you're going to be following orders. Hey, player, play this operator, go over here. Yes, sir. And you kind of just play their game for them. Now he's in Chiefs making his own path, making his own decisions probably, and then doing what's actually working for him in his roster. So a much better result. And that video just kind of appeared in front of us here. Didn't get a chance to take a look at it step by step. But Chalet into Bank into Fortress. Now, I personally am looking at that Bank matchup. It is a map that is very common for both of these two rosters. And it's where they played their Stage 1 best of 1, that 7-5 victory favoring Chiefs. So there's going to be a rematch on that Bank map.
Yeah. Of course, Bank and Fortress were both also in the Vita when these teams played each other in kickoff. Chiefs won Bank and EP won Fortress. Both were very close 7-5 results. Chalet is the odd one out here because we haven't seen these teams play against each other on it. Funnily enough, it's the map that both of these teams lost to Shy Academy. So if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Shy Academy would be winning this game.
So, question posed, are they both shit on Chalet then?
I don't know, I'm just being silly. Look, we have seen EP also beat Man LFO on this map, but I would say that this is not a favorite map for either of these teams, but EP decided to pick it. Let's see if they can dig deep on map 1.
Yeah, how about we lock in? Instead of going to our favorite map, how about we go to our favorite-ish commentators? Guz, Xenox, how are we feeling?
I feel a little bit humbled after the earlier 1v1 experience, I'm not going to lie, Cuz, but excited for this. As we head into the upper bracket final, it is an opportunity to qualify the Esports World Cup, lock in that position. In terms of where you'll finish, well, that depends, of course, in the grand final, but with the Oceanic region having the 2 slots, you win this, you're going. The rest of the permutations get figured out in the grand final, but you don't care about that as long as you win today. So there is a lot on the line, but it does come to this match. Not only do you get to qualify, but you avoid having to drop down, face one of the other 2 that are going to be seeking revenge, vengeance. You want to get the job done today. Let's see what happens. Chiefs versus Enterprise. Chiefs, guys, I think for all intents and purposes, maybe took that mantle as the best team in the region. EP definitely want to take it back and probably feel as if they've never lost it.
Yeah, keen to jump into this one. The bands have played out Ala Denari, Glaz, and Dockerby. So Chiefs going with a brand new band set here based on the data we have available on Chalet. This is the first time we will see them ban both the Ala or Denari across the stage. So certainly something to note. It's going to leave up key operators like the Azami, for instance, which is particularly potent on Chalet. EP on the flip side, a little more standard. They've teased the Glaz on a couple of occasions, but the Dockerby will be a first appearance for them as we jump in. Can't wait to see the 2 and 3. I don't quite know how I feel about Chalet just yet, but I think Bank for me is the guys on the desk. That is a very tantalizing prospect.
I was looking at the stats for Bank. Both teams are just going to love that map. Chalet, obviously the pick of Enterprise, and one of which they've got a lot of experience on. Yeah, they took early damage, got the kill onto Jigsaw. They did lose Joe Kenner though, so they no longer have the Boogie Auto breaches. By the way, players straight into bedroom, going for the plant off the ROU. Probably got that one from I9, and the Xenox goes Pro Series. Plant will be successful. Tuhan does get rid of relays, losing him over towards Ego. That just leaves a bedroom and bathroom stack. Lunchbox is going to move over to Closet, but he loses the battle to Brendo. Gives EP the numbers advantage, but still need to win the post plant. And considering Neptune's outside, player does need to stay alive, and he barely does. Headshot onto Tuhan, still up 2v2, time running out.
Yeah, going to be a tough one here with the double window. Repel still in play. Surely Chiefs will lock in this round. It's a good read from Brendo. A read's one thing, being able to find the kill.
He's played out anyway, they can't get it, there's no time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the round. Chiefs are going to steal the opening round, even with that kill from Brendo. Just pads the stats as he obviously has a little grimace in the player camera. It's Chiefs that open up with a wonderful set play. We've seen that a little bit here on top floor Chalet I think over the last couple of weeks. Certainly this stage, teams are liking to bring pressure elsewhere, away from bedroom, and then sneak in for that quick rush plant. It works this time. The ROUs from player were successful. There just also wasn't really any kind of utility to disrupt him. There was no nitrocells thrown. There was no impacts thrown at his position, and he was able to get that plant down pretty much uncontested in the end. Chiefs take the opening round. Good way to start here on Chalet. Attacking round win is good for them. This is still like pretty much most maps in this wonderful map pool that we've got, it is still slightly defender-sided. That top floor actually in the Oceanic region sits at 55% defensive win rates. That's a great start for Chiefs.
Yeah, I love that positive approach from Chiefs. Really direct. And AP getting isolated and caught out in that opening round down to dining for the follow-up. Expecting the tempo of this matchup to be pretty quick across the board, to be honest, especially on a map like Chalet. The pacing may be drawn out a little bit more on Bank, where it's going to be maybe more stall-out heavy, and that peel defense is more effective. But on Chalet, I really don't think that's going to be the case.
The thing I love about both maps, and to be honest, Chalet and Bank are the epitome of, I think, just some of the best maps in the pool. You can pick and choose how you want to play on both maps, on pretty much all of the sides. You want to go fast, you can. You want to slow it down, play tempo pacing, you can. I think that's the benefit of why the teams that are so good at Chalet and Bank typically end up being very good teams in general. It's the same kind of mindset with a map like Clubhouse. In your structured play, that's really going to set you apart. One thing I'm looking forward to in this half as well, what lurk play do we get from Enterprise? How do they want to position defensively? They're not the kind of team that's going to play 5-stack side.
Yeah. So the Amaru in play again here. Well, not again, but first appearance. And there's an opportunity here for Relays to go for a sneaky play up hatch, potentially. Also has the maneuverability to rotate above as well. Grappling hook is in his hands right now as Jake Kenner gets caught, but Relays has snuck into the side.
Yeah, but they lost player this time, so no Nomad. Double kill from Cairo. This time, Relays unable to successfully get the plant. Good Nitrocell, Tuhan, then the double up onto Neptune, and that's the round done. EP seemed far more ready for that sort of fast rush attempt into kitchen dining than they were for the top floor site. Really solid response. Strap yourselves in, because we've entered the ring, and both of these two are more than capable of landing blow for blow. First round goes the way of Chiefs because of the fast rush. The second round will go the way of EP because of the fast rush that they countered. Good headshot from Lunchbox. He will deny the flawless. And that's all. The other thing I really want to get out of this series, trash talk in the chat, especially if we get to if we get to Fortress Map 3, spotted EWC on the line. Ooh. This could get really heated. 1-1.
Yeah, I just want to have a quick look back at round number 1. So it's pretty obvious so far that we're seeing really direct approaches from Chiefs on attack. And there was actually a key piece of utility available here. You can see it just a little bit out of frame at the moment that Goya was up in that opening round. And we see the flames eventually pop, but just a little bit too late. So EP weren't in necessarily the positions to actually actively play off that utility. Obviously, the diffuser at this point already down. We're in a post. We see those flames eventually pop. But I think that's something that EP are going to have to be more mindful of going forward. We saw Direct in round 1. We saw the Amaru round 2. And so if EP are going to look to play out this stall at utility, they need to look to be proactive and actually playing off that correctly.
Oh, so, I mean, setting the tempo early here is Chiefs, which is really what you want to be doing on the attack of Chalet. They're going fast both opening rounds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds was the opening kill on the first round. 2 minutes basically on the dot in the second round. They got the plant down 2:17 in the first round. Tried to get the plant down around that 150-second mark in the second. They go again, Ying and Blitz. Now, didn't play the Ying and the Blitz together so far in the opening 2 rounds. And as we head to bar games, this does leave them with good options. Lunchbox can go, Capital above, look for a clear out. They can go quick through big window. They can also potentially go in straight to bar. On the flip side for Enterprise, Tuhan on the Tachanka will set bar stock. And very much talk about an operator that can delay that sort of push in, big window, flame up, that sort of position. Rehost call, but it's too late from Lunchbox. We are past the 2.5 minute mark.
Yeah, I think that's going to be tough luck. We'll see what the ruling is. I know there are caveats.
I still recall it was, I can't remember how many years ago it was, someone got bugged on Clubhouse in the aircon outside CCTV, and it was just too late into the round. It's later. So no Lunchbox. And this is, so to emphasize, he's playing Capital. Like, this is an important operator. You don't have that belt of utility. Harder to clear out top library. Certainly doesn't help for execute. This is a big loss for Chiefs. But the way they have to play this round now is as if he got spawn peaked. It's a 5v4, minute 20. As Relays will make his way up 5 plays. On the Nook now, he needs to get active, but caught out by Brendo. It's an unfortunate round for Chiefs, but these are the kind of rounds that they cannot afford to let them, well, get tilted from. Player makes his way in, caught by Jigsaw. For all intents and purposes, it's going to be an ace for Enterprise. We'll get a rehost after this. Lunchbox is, of course, stuck outside. Now, I would imagine he can still shoot.
Yeah, maybe.
So the question is, if someone jumps out to finish him off so we don't wait 50 seconds, does he go for a shot? Why not? Baiting again. The thing is, I would imagine Vapor knows full well he's stuck and doesn't care and just wants to get in their head. And you know what? It's an upper bracket final. Here's every advantage you can get.
Yeah, look, sometimes these things happen, rehost or not. It's best of 3, so Chiefs will need to do their best to just reset mentally from this, regardless of what the decision may be. Chiefs ultimately having to try and fall back onto like a plan B, plan C kind of doomsday scenario in that round with the direct hit side, trying to see if they could find something. But yeah, losing the Capital ultimately ruined their plans big time in that round.
Well, I mean, it's obviously the kind of round that's mentally taxing. Yeah, Lunchbox, it's past the 2.5 minute mark. You know the rules. Yeah, this is the perfect response, though, for Enterprise. So to kind of sum up the first 3 rounds, and this is probably the way the series is going to go. You're going to have little chapters. Talk about a punch in the face from Chiefs in the opening round. Steal the opening round. But then EP, 2 rounds back-to-back, just do the exact same thing. And now suddenly Chiefs go from that elation of round 1, where you steal, you get the plant down, perfect start, and then EP just sucker punch you back. And then on top of that, add in insult to injury. Poor old Lunchbox stuck on the rappel. Couldn't play. Capital useless. Now into the bans. No Blackbeard ban. Doesn't matter. They haven't really played it anyway. Thorn will be taken off the board. Brendo's been using that in 2 of the 3 rounds. Also, 3 straight opening kills and 3 straight opening deaths for Jake Kenner. He has not been able to play yet. There he is.
Yeah, lobby has just been paused in the background for a bit of context, so we are in discussions as to the outcome of that last round. We'll wait and see what happens.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's a bug, clearly, that doesn't need a rehost because it's just a incident within the particular parameters as to that spot, that round, that moment. I don't think rehosting the lobby is going to change anything. It's not like Lunchbox is still on the rappel. he's not left hanging. But we'll get it all sorted out. I also imagine Chiefs probably want to try and go rule book, but the rule book is pretty clear and has been for a long time. It was, I believe, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. That's just too deep into the round. I know there was no damage. I know there was no shots fired. 5v5. And if it had been pre 2 minutes 30, they would have been able to get their rehost, but too late into the round. What was he players? Got the little Neptune nose, what are they called?
I don't know what they're called, but yeah.
Nose strips?
Open up the airways. I don't know what the actual...
I might need to get one actually for tomorrow for the Xenox Goes Pro. Maybe we can see if Rex can hook us up.
Maybe James could use one, open up his passageways a little bit. He was a little bit nasally on the desk.
Get him on the desk with the nose strip. But look, a little bit of an anticlimactic position here, rounds 2 and 3, after a very fast, dramatic start from Chiefs. So they won the opening round. Bedroom and office. A fast plant attempt and was successful. EP couldn't win it in the post plant. Funnily enough, the Vulcan canister ended up being their own demise. That's not the first time we've seen that either. With the rush plant attempts in sort of the modern era of Siege now, teams actually don't pop the Vulcan canister preemptively. They almost use it as, well, a post-plant tool for themselves, turning it on the defenders. EP then winning very comfortably in rounds 2 and 3, 4 alive and the ace. As we are going to get Chiefs out of the lobby. EP are still in the lobby, all 5, but everyone from Chiefs has left. And it looks as if I think we're going full-blown rehost now as they also starting to leave the lobby.
I wouldn't be shocked if that round is replayed, but we can discuss that later if that is
I
the rule.
would be quite shocked.
I'm not gonna. I can't be bothered getting too far into the weeds, but the rehost ruling is
Oh, let me. Oh, the
has been reworded.
Is it at the what's it called? The interpretation or discretion?
I mean, it's not my job, so I don't want to really put anyone on the spot.
I'm not looking at anything.
All I'm saying is, it says
Well, you're
action
the one
phase.
reading it.
At any time during the action phase, player is unable to control or move the operator, and there is an or after the 30-second condition prior to that.
Oh,
So-
so if you dig deep enough.
I
Hey, look,
think Chiefs would have a strong case.
all
in
I'm
pulling
saying
a
is it's
rehost.
not our job. We're not the admins. I'm
We'll
just.
see what happens. Again, we're the neutral observers, so whatever it is, it is. I just hope we get back into the server ASAP.
Was that must have been recently changed then?
Yeah, I think I posted about 500 messages in the Discord about that when it got changed.
All right, well, we get this sorted out behind the scenes. For now, luckily, here at the studio, we've got 3 wonderful gentlemen who are going to take you through this rehost. I was going to say to give us a break, but I don't know. Is it fair for James, who can barely speak, Rob?
I don't think so. James, how are you feeling? You know, you kind of sound like a mix between Laxing and Fox.
I want to get into Tibetan throat singing.
Ah.
Have you seen Dune? You know the the like the Harkonnen ceremony thing with the like whoa whoa whoa.
And that's going to be you?
Yeah, I want to. I reckon I can do that.
Okay, interesting. Nick, how much of that were you actually able to witness before we came back from
I watched the game.
commentators?
Did you watch the game, Nick? I watched the game.
I saw some of the glory. I'm actually not surprised at how it started off. You know, it's gonna be one team playing the stratching, the forcing objective down, the other one running out going for kills, and it's of course gonna be Chiefs going for executes, right?
Of
and
course.
EP just trying to fight back. Super barn burn of unfortunate DC there on the Capitao. And it's
Yeah.
one of those like most important operator in the game. You know, you lost the momentum, you're not getting it back, and then and now we're standing here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the way it happens. And look, as those boys are saying, we're not the admins, right? So we aren't going to make no calls. But what I will
It ain't
say
my
is,
job.
it ain't. That is
I got
absolutely
my armchair
not
right
my
here.
job.
I'm being my armchair analyst.
Correct.
That's all.
That's what we're here for. So let's have a look at the head-to-head between these two teams over the course of the last 6 months. I think that there is some context that needs to be given here. That the fact that Chiefs actually have the upper hand in quite a few of these categories, Dev. Obviously, when we actually just kind of
And
hone
devs.
in on the conversation, it is quite interesting to see the fact that the Chiefs are headed out on top of Enterprise.
Yeah, I do have a question for whoever whipped up these stats. Does this include just this iteration of Chiefs and EP? Because
I believe this is only from the last 6 months.
Okay,
It's
cool.
actually, no, it's not
Just
even last 6
stage
months. It's
one.
just stage 1.
All right, cool.
It's just stage 1, yeah.
Interesting. Wow, it is very tight. The kills are exactly the same. There's only 4 more deaths on EP. KD.
2 different
Why is
injuries.
the KD so different? Despite the numbers being so similar.
So I say they have 4 less deaths, but their KD is quite high, like
anyway.
15.
Anyway,
Because they're gamers.
that
Yeah,
that
I know.
KOST rating is nice.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
nice.
The most important stat here, of course, is headshot percentage.
Yep. And that's
Um,
where EP really
For style
Yeah.
points. Yeah. Doesn't
100%.
surprise me when you think about the players. Like, those guys they're gunners. They're going for those high rate of fire, low damage weapons, right? Yeah, look, if I have a second, I might even be able to spin out some more fun stats for you guys.
Please do, and while you do so, I will just confirm for everyone at home that we are replaying the round due to Lunchbox unable to control his operator at the start of the round. So that has been completely confirmed. We're running it back 2.0 and making
Nice.
sure that we get it as fair as we can, Nick. But look, it happens in these kind of games, but this is where we need to reset that mental and reset the conversation, because it's a little tough to take from what we've seen, have a big break like this, and then go back in expectations the same as what we had when we were in the round.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about mental game, right? It's a best of 3. You gotta stay in this long term. You can easily go, oh my god, Lunchbox, why did you go for that riskier Hell play where you know that could be a game-breaking bug? Why did you do this thing? Or you start kind of blaming your teammate or being annoyed at the situation. Don't.
Yeah.
It's a BO3. The rehost sucks for everybody. Don't get down into the basement about yourself, your own mental, or your teammates. Just play it out. There are so many more rounds to be played here between these two rosters. And if you can stay in it mentally, that's the biggest win that you can have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think the big thing that we noticed in those first 2.5 if you count the third round.
Kind of semi.
Is, of course, like you said, Pengu, we've got one of the teams, Chiefs, who's really focusing on objective. They're coming in with their strats. They got their little sends execute. They're planting right next to a Goya. They don't care. It worked well for them. By the way, notice the planting difference between these two teams. Chiefs has the most plants in the league, tied with Man, LFO, and Rival with 19 plants. Enterprise actually down in 4th with only 12 plants. I think that reflects at least a little bit the fact that I think EP are a little bit more of a frag-focused team. They're often playing for like a win condition that's not necessarily around like a, hey, we've got this preset idea of how we're going to get the plant down. But the other side of what I wanted to see from those first couple of rounds, what we did see, was the mental warfare starting, and I think Jake and Gus already talked about it. Like, obviously, Chiefs are making an argument of why it should be a rehost. That was in the hands of the admins. The admins took a bit of time, and they decided it was a rehost. That's how the game works. That's
crazy
pretty normal.
how that happens.
Pretty normal. Nothing out of the ordinary. But of course, EP, they see that, and they like. It's not EP's job to decide whether it's a rehost. EP just have to play the game in front of them. Whether someone's bugged or not bugged, or it gets rehosted or it gets reset, that really doesn't matter. EP, all they care about is playing the game and then just being a little bit cheeky, right? Being funny in the all chat, because they don't care. They're going to call him baiting. They're going to say he's a bot. That's just part of the EP brand.
It is, and do you know what the best part is? If there's one team that could go toe-to-toe with them, not just in the server, but also in the shit-talking capacity, it is absolutely the Chiefs. So as we get back underway with round 3, yes, it is being replayed. Yes, we have the context, but no, we don't know the outcome yet. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Hey, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, boys. And just to clarify in terms of that ruling, there is a bit of a misnomer around the first 30 seconds. It's not a blanket rule. It does clearly state in the rule book that at any time during the action phase, player is unable to control or move the operator. Clearly, Lunchbox couldn't exit repel. It's a known bug.
Who said player?
Sorry, Lunchbox couldn't. Lunchbox the player.
You said any player.
Lunchbox could not exit repel, therefore stuck. And look, I think that's the right ruling. It was early in the round, 5 versus 5. Like, let's be real. It should be a replay, and I think that's the correct
And it's
decision.
like I said to you before. I mean, we've seen 1v5s before, right? So you think, oh, what happens if it was, 30 seconds to go in the round and a 1v5? Is that not unfair? But it's happened before. I think that's where the ruling changed, though. It used to be anything after 2 minutes 30. The round was live and nothing mattered. And then, yeah, I mean, I think it's a
common sense rule.
It's a common sense. I mean, it was, 14 seconds after the 2.5 and nothing had happened. So we go again, round 3. In terms of the lineup changes, there is no lineup change for Enterprise. Of course, it is still bar games. And boy, does it give Chiefs, though, a really good duo. I will say, though, for Chiefs, they kind of sat still for a good 40 seconds anyway due to the repel bug. Now they go a little bit faster. Lunchbox, ironically, the first one to die, tries to go towards Library Stairs. Bappin will shut him down. I'm sure Bappin will let him know all about it post-round if EP go and win the round. But Relays does get rid of Jigsaw. That's the Warden gone. Adrenal Surge from Jake Kenner gets everyone nice and healthy, and we've got a 4v4.
Yeah, the pacing continues to be quick. Plenty of time now remaining.
It was only
in the
slowed
round.
because of the repel bug.
Yeah. So double stack Library Stairs then from the defense of EP, and as you can see by those blue outlines left of screen, Chiefs looking to map sweep. As Relays will isolate Cairo, who finds a good timing, drops down.
No. It's like watching me. And
He wasn't shooting through a hard surface, so
well,
not quite the same.
Not quite the same, but
Does he go hunting
I was
here?
going to say, there's no way he drops this. Cairo is going to be aware that he's clearly being hunted, but boy, he catches player over towards Garage, now watches for West Main Stairs. Well, Cairo's played this quite well. The pressure that's been on him over the last 20 seconds was quite a lot. In the end, he does succumb. And it does mean with 60 seconds left of the round, Chiefs have the chance to take this third round after that repel bug.
Oh, yeah, they invest pretty heavily on the hunt, and it means that that map sweep is no longer their primary objective.
Oh,
Bappin reads into that.
Oh, he's got this. Bappin. Oh, the little pixel of the head. Bappin tries to shoot early.
Reloading mag.
Relays, though, switched on. Pops the death mark. Bappin wants to stay aggressive. Isn't just scared yet. Now he falls back out of mudrooms. Gives this position over to Chiefs. Jake Henner can't quite catch him on the timing, though. He got there a little bit too late. Imagine if he was there 2 seconds earlier. Would have got the free kill. And Smart from Relays too, ignores Mud, now goes over to Big Window, he's got a good line of sight, Tuhan down, Bappen's got to activate inside of Bar, and he did. Brendo 2's been good so far, gets rid of Neptune, it's only Relays left, that's the demon, Bappen is that guy. What a round, and he's going to let them know all about it in the chat.
Look, that play in isolation was really clean, but I think what clearly allowed him to even execute that in the first place was the prequel to that over towards Mudroom by just layering pressure and then not overstepping his mic. I think a lot of players in that situation probably get a bit greedy, probably go searching for the kill, but he survived to live another day. He absorbed the death mark, got back towards the site, and then he was in a better playmaking position as a result of that. So some smart play early, and then great mechanics to back it up tail end of the round.
Interesting too, I'm just saying in the chat, even though you knew the setup and we did the exact same thing, you guys still lost. It was close though, guys, and I think that's where, you know, trash talking from EP is usually one of their strong suits, but it, you know, it was a 4v3, and it really, well, actually was a 4v2. It took a big effort from Bappen and a bit of a helping hand from Brendo to win that round. Chiefs did a lot right. I just couldn't quite nail the execution, and it did take a wonderful play from Bappen. And this is the kind of game as well, you know, you can't forget about someone like Bappen. You know, I think coming into this match, it's easy to talk about Jigsaw and Player from their respective teams. You think about who's next in line for their respective teams. Well, Bappen's clearly the number 2 when it comes to EP, but who is the number 2 when it comes to Chiefs? Who's that clear standout? Well, it's supposed to be Neptune. And so far, Neptune 1 and 3 in the opening 3 rounds. Obviously, a long way to go. So back to bedroom and office. And Chiefs are going to actually slow the pacing down. They got Jay Kenner on the Monty. They're going to drop the blitz. I imagine they're not going to go for that fast plant. They do still have the ROU from the Sands of Neptune. But I'm starting to get an idea that this one's going to be a slower paced round.
Yeah.
And it has to be, because you've also played 3 rounds now. Fast pace, fast tempo. You've had 3 straight opening deaths. Clearly for Chiefs, while there has been a level of success, it's not overwhelming. They got to change up something.
Yeah, that average duel typically around 1 minute into the round. So we're starting to encroach on that now as Jay Kenner with Diffuser begins his lurk west main side.
I wonder if the bans had to be the same as well, because if you think the round that got played out, we went into bans and they banned out the Thorn the Blackbeard, but then we went back. Did they have to stay the same? I guess they would.
They banned them heading into this round, but that's okay.
No, but that's what I'm saying is we went back to 1-1. So then technically they undid the bans.
They never did the bans, I don't think.
No, they did Thorn and Blackbeard, and then we did the rehost.
Oh, I thought they paused the timer. Okay, sorry.
Well, it's a much slower round.
I was too busy scrolling the rulebook to be looking at the game feed.
Well, 90 seconds left, and it's Neptune that gets the opening kill. It seems like the pace change-up has worked for Chiefs. Finally, they get their first opening pick here on Chalet. They get some pressure from down below, and so far this looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks promising. I love this additional dimension from the attack below here from Relays. Can look to pressure out some of the anchor play here. On display, Cairo displaced by the frag grenade, but he pushes forward and almost nets a kill as a result. Now gets caught, facing the wrong way for a 2nd round in a row.
Yeah, Neptune is down though. And Lunchbox also quite low on health because of that play from Cairo, and player gets caught from Tuhan. This round is live. It's 3v3. Very winnable for both. Jay Kenner's going to have to do something pretty special here on the Monty. At some point, it's going to have to be brave, push forward, take some space, allow the likes of Lunchbox and Relays to push him behind. They do still have 40 seconds, time of which is enough to get the revive onto Neptune if they move quickly. But right now, they're not moving for him. They're going to leave him behind. They're going to push into the site as 3. Double stack Solar with Relays over at Trophy Stairs to make it a 3-stack. Leaves this one-dimensional. Makes it pretty comfortable for EP to know where this pressure's coming from. Into bedroom now. The plan from Jay Kenner will be successful. Lunchbox stays alive on 1 HP. Big battle 1 against Jigsaw. Leaves a low health Bappen on the Vigil with a lot to do. Tuhan still full health, but he loses out to Lunchbox on 1 HP. That's huge from Chiefs. They change up the pacing and they win the round. It's 2-2.
Yeah, they're able to choke them out from that Solar side, and I think to an extent EP respected them a little too much. You could see clearly expecting the double window repel to be in play, but no, it was a full stack Solar. They leveraged the Monty really nicely. then able to get in a tuck plant position, and that post was, yeah, very, very difficult, if not impossible for EP to pull off. So I love the pacing change there. That first kill coming just after the midpoint of the round, by far the slowest so far. First opening kill going the way of Chiefs in the series so far.
There's only one player in the region that has more plants this stage than Jake Henner. It's Sharky from Man LFO. That's Sharky with 11. Jake Henner now up to 10. Actually, did he get the... No, that was player that got the first plant. So yeah, Jake Henner up to 10 plants. Cairo will be entrusted with those duties in the second half for Enterprise. He's their best planter. When it does come to Chalet, it is the map that actually features the most plants in the region, sitting at 19. We're second with 16 as a reference point. And so far from 4 rounds, it's sitting at a 50% rate, which is very, very high. 2 from 4. Kitchen Dining for the 5th round. And I think a much-needed round win, too, for Chiefs, because in theory, they were down 1-2, but they'd also lost that round, the rehost round. So after that opening round, the momentum had swung. Now it's starting to at least even up a little bit. 2 rounds to go in this half. Very crucial rounds. Because this is the map that really, I think, EP should be winning. Bank is up for grabs as well, but you look at the numbers for Enterprise on Chalet, it's very, very good.
Yeah, I think Chiefs have evidently done a good job putting aside that rehost earlier. If they felt aggrieved, they haven't really shown that in the server, so credit to them in being able to bounce back mentally. As the first minute expires here in the 5th, just the single primary hard breach for Chiefs. And so Mav can get to work at opening up line of sight and even entry up above here through office. It is dining, of course, so that will be in an attempt for Chiefs to gain vertical control, or at least keep this defense and their ability to deny from above at bay. Triple Nitro in play for EP, and Brendo eagerly looking to contest it from half wall.
And they've been good with their Nitro so far on Chalet. Been a strength of theirs, but they lose 2. Hun and Bappin simultaneously from 2 different fights. Relays Neptune both essentially getting the opening pick. That opens up Dining now as the option for the plant for Lunchbox. And he's able to also avoid the next Nitros. Jigsaw falls from above. Neptune catching him. That's a successful plant again. 3 from 5 rounds for Chiefs. That's a high ratio. It leaves Cairo and Brendo in a 2 versus 5 post plant. And talk about pressure with Lunchbox sitting at the bottom of trophy stairs. Well, maybe Chiefs might just enter the trash talk as well, because they're about to take the lead. 3 attacking rounds have been converted, and this one is flawless.
Yeah, that was really clean there from Chiefs.
And Lunchbox is off his chair.
I tell you what, if they make EWC, he's going to have to get that in check, because I'm pretty sure the admins aren't going to be too pleased with him getting up every 3 seconds.
I don't think you can.
But nice work. They drew some pressure and attention top, and then in the meantime, he was able to send a deep sight. There was then pressure west main, bit of a lineup occurring there through the objective for the opening 2. And then it very quickly flipped where all 3 defenders from EP were top floor with essentially no ability to know where that plant was going down to even attempt a denial. And presumably, I think there was still a bit of lurk pressure there as well that Chiefs were dealing them. So overall, a really snappy attack there from Chiefs. They reached the benchmark, but they'll be pushing for a 4th.
It's the versatility, again, of the Chiefs roster. I think I said this last week, too. So Lunchbox gets the plant. That's not uncommon. When you look at the plants in the league, Lunchbox, I mentioned Jake Kenner, right? Second with 10 plants in the league. Well, Lunchbox, now with that 7th plant, goes up to 4th in the league. So you've got 2 players on the same team that are in the top 4 for plants. That is a very, very uncommon statistic. Typically, you will see 1 designated planter. And then, so when you kind of look at the stats, and you usually go through the first 6 to 8 players, and it's usually just 1 from every team. So for them to have 2 inside the top 4 is huge, and it creates that flexibility. It means that Jake Kenner, for example, now goes on blitz. Last round it was Lunchbox, so they can switch up their roles based on the site, all of these things. Final round of the half, 3-2 for Chiefs. If they make this 4-2, EP are in some trouble, because this is still defender-sided on Chalet in this region.
See if Bappin can maybe make another highlight play in the half. He begins his lurk basement. I don't know if that was a missed drone or a good drone from Relays. Does he have a read onto the position?
Yeah,
He
got it,
does.
Yep.
Bappin will see that drone. Yep. So I think Chiefs looking to posture for the backstore line of sight here. Bappin clearly now identifying that the Maverick is in play will be thinking the same thing. And so the question will be, does he look to stay in
Bappin's
contest?
stuck now, and there's so much time that they can push him. If he's not going to get some help, he's kind of stuck.
Oh, and it's against player. What a head-to-head this is.
There's the ping, there's the pressure. If you're Bappin now, it's one and done, and you're happy with that. Nitrocell doesn't connect. But Cairo does sit blue. He's ready
just
for
send
a
the shield
trade,
in.
but he's on the wrong side. Unless, although it has been opened up, smoke has been used to block off this hole. This has allowed Bappin to sneak out, and he can actually make his way up. Oh, baited him.
Yep.
Completely baited him. Really well played from Cairo and Bappin. Jay Kenner and Chiefs thought they had him on the ropes, but it was actually the other way around. Baited into the trap. It was like a wounded rabbit, and the hunter was coming to finish off the prey. Minute left, and now EP with the numbers, and Bappin's back to bar.
And if he goes on to have another big round, that is going to be another monumental moment where his positioning and game sense is helping put him in these strong positions. So credit to Bappin and the support leveraged from Cairo. 45 seconds on the board.
Or change up, so instead of taking it bar stock, they go to try and clear out top office.
This is scrappy.
Yeah, man, and there's not a lot of time. A lot of the rounds, in fact, I'd say all of the round Chiefs have won, have not been scrappy. Can they now do it? Well, Relays talk about force in, gets rid of Jigsaw. Bappin, though, from par, is able to get him through either the hatch or the floorboard, one or the other. It doesn't matter. Now Lunchbox goes searching, connects. At this point, you're going to win this round through sheer gunfighting, but the power of Barstock still in play for Enterprise, and that Shamika launcher can block off good positioning. Red time, we go. Still 3v3, have to hit this shot. Brendo does connect after he lost Cairo. 2-half wins his battle from Barstock. They'll double stack together. Lunchbox has no time. We are tied in this upper bracket final. 3 apiece between these two heavyweights in the region. Blow for blow, nothing really separating them.
No, that one's very close indeed, and I think ultimately we kind of come back to the conclusion that we had at the very start, Nick, which is based around the fact that these two teams are so evenly matched. You've got players that have competed together on both separate teams. They've already played each other 4 times coming into this series, so both teams should be feeling very confident about their opponent.
I very much think it comes down to who's going to be the better team on the given day, right? They scrim each other a ton in practice matches. They know each other's strats internally so well. Unless you've been preparing some first-time seen strats for this particular matchup, they're going to be expecting the things they're going to be doing in the server, right? The other thing is that, we just spoke about it briefly, James, we love Chiefs' use of smoke grenades, we love how they're playing utility, they have Jakina playing the more passive shield operator who died very early there in the very final round of the half, and we have Lunchbox who's a more like crazy aggressive kind of blitz player. So I love how Chiefs, they're constantly changing the pace from direct attacks, a little bit more methodical, go for kills, now we force the plan. They're keeping it interesting.
Yeah, no, I love a lot of what we're seeing from some Chiefs. I think that they have a really new way of playing the game, right? Like they've come into this stage and they're like, all right, let's throw out everything and let's start anew. And I really like the way they work around the shields. Like you said, the smoke grenades as well, like just a few examples, right? Like attacking when they were trying to clear out the basement and there was a rotate hole. And so the Blitz couldn't start to flush that player towards the Mavericks holes because of the crossfire, smokes it up, moves forward. In the end, he didn't realize there was a crossfire from blue, so he did lose his life. We saw another little creative idea from Chiefs as a way to try and clear out the top of blue stairs from display. Instead of just spamming util and swinging the door, they make a Maverick hole with a player all ready to peek the Maverick holes. And he unfortunately didn't get peeked from the player who was on the stairs, so he didn't get the free kill, but it did allow him to control that space, but then a smoke to go out, and now allow the Maverick to push in, go deep, and kill the Warden up close. A lot of really creative ideas, a lot of patience, and a lot of ability to change the plan mid-round, which I really like from Chiefs. At the end of the day, though, I think Enterprise are a really smart team. Their fundamentals are really good. That's the way I see it. I think Enterprise have clearly the superior fundamentals, and they have gunners. I think Chiefs have a real inspired way of playing the game, a new way of playing the game, which is very cool to see. How it happens across the whole series, it's very hard to pick, because at this point, I do feel like these two teams are neck and neck.
Yeah, watching a team be able to adapt like the Chiefs, watching them kind of, I guess, find their own personality in the game, it feels like I haven't seen this from an OCE roster, or at least I haven't seen this from an OCE roster that's been forced into a position where they've had another competitor with them since like 2022. Like, it's been such a long time since we've had two genuinely competitive teams, and coming into this year, there's so much on the line, there's so much to expect. One stat that I kind of really enjoy from this is all 3 rounds that were won by the Chiefs were won on the back of plants. So going further into what we were talking about, Nick, we're just continuing to see momentum for the Chiefs shift. We're watching how they can slowly start to adapt on the fly, and they have a real game plan. But Enterprise now on attack. This is where they can leave their mark. This is where they could go 1-0 up in the series.
Yeah, Rob, I agree with that sentiment in terms of the fact that there's a real battle at that top. There's 2 teams, but the one part for me, guys, is I at this moment don't really know who's the challenger, who's the champion. It's not a clear distinction. I think in the Oceanic region over the last few years, there's always been that champion team. You think the Bliss era, you think about even what the old Chiefs era, even for a short amount of time, you know, Game of Gladiators. But while we had challenges to those teams, there was a clear distinction as to who the king was. Right now, these two are just equal.
Maybe we should bring it back to just 1 slot.
No, let's not do that. Maybe 3 slots.
3?
Yep.
Who are we taking the slot away from?
Whoever wins the next series after this. Oh, who we taking
Yeah,
it
which
from?
sub-region loses the slot?
I do not speak.
The bans for this particular half.
Oh, here we go. Jigsaw bulk.
Standard set from EP. Chiefs banning out the Snake for the first time this stage. Also the first time EP will have the Snake banned out against them this stage as well.
But the real question is, so you know Jigsaw's going to be playing that position just outside library window, piano window. Do you even try to challenge him, or do you just avoid that sort of position? Cairo, by the way, is already at the door. Love this play again. Good call out onto Lunchbox. He just was dancing on thin ice, and that ice gave way. Jay Kenner falls as well to Brendo. There goes the Thorn. EP now bringing the pressure here in the 7th round on their own attack. We'll see if they can get the plant down. To be honest, it's very likely they will. It's bedroom office, and there's only one top floor. That's player. He got tagged up. Seems as if Cairo will get this plant successfully down. He actually got off it momentarily, and maybe the finger slipped off the mouse. I'm not too sure. And it almost did cost him, but it does not matter. It's a 5v1 post-plant. Make it an ace. Well, an ace. Flawless round from Enterprise. And kind of did to Chiefs in what some of those rounds Chiefs did to EEP, with the plant being very successful into a flawless. And the defense has been a bit shaky here on Chalet at times.
Yeah, I don't think I really expected that, at least in the opening round. I think that the tempo and the style that Chiefs looked to play in the first half was certainly a little more broadcasted, in the sense they went for trap-heavy op bans. We're not seeing that necessarily this time around. Sure, the Snake and the Blitz both can have that kind of tempo effect, and so by extension, I kind of then expected it to actually go the opposite, where it maybe be a little bit slower.
Is it just top floor, though?
It could potentially be.
It hasn't been defended yet. Rounds 1, 4, and now 7. Bedroom office, all won by the attack. And all by a plant. So, I mean, at that point, it's a decent sample size for you to suggest that, yeah, maybe it's just the way that the side itself is being played, both offensively and defensively. So I guess if you're Chiefs, you can maybe chalk that round to that.
And it's been a 50-50 site for the league so far this stage, so it doesn't really stand out as being an objectively expected to be super attacker-sided.
So Kitchen Dining, which was successfully defended by EP, but also won by Chiefs in the 5th round, so 50-50. I feel like every round on this second half is going to be, well, 50-50. I think Nick said it best, and it's the most clear-cut analysis I've ever heard from him. Whoever plays better on the day is going to win. It's a very Will Buxton line, but it's very true, because the idea behind it is we know that both of these two teams are really good. Just another way you could frame it is whoever has a bad day is going to lose.
So what you're saying is, in Xenox Goes Pro, all you need to do is kill the other person and you'd win.
4 times, yes.
Yeah, 4 times.
Yeah.
Looking like another solar side shape up here from the attack. We've seen a few of those over the course of the map so far. We'll see how vigorously Chiefs elect to try and defend here. It's a 4-1 split at the moment. So player the only one on site. He has Nitro for the vert. The rest of the Chiefs shaping up to try and contest EP against this map control. Would potentially leave them vulnerable to that west main sneak that we did actually see Chiefs on the attack try to execute. So that's something to just keep in mind. There is some vert clearly in play though, and Neptune in position to deal with that accordingly. The onus will be on how do EP look to shape up. Big focus trophy currently from them, with Cairo having that kit in hand close by on the window.
And that's a stat we bring up a lot, but 90% kill conversion right now in terms of the round, well, opening kill conversion. So it has had a pretty big influence in this match. Cairo searching. To the credit of Chiefs, they're not really giving up a lot of their positioning. It's causing EP to have to kind of guess here. Like, Cairo has no idea.
He doesn't know about player.
That player is just
be
sitting here.
devastating.
Oh, he doesn't get the kill though. Quick reaction from Cairo. Oh, player thought he had him on toast. It did not matter as Cairo was able to turn that shield in time, get the kill himself, forced off the plant. Here comes Lunchbox, gets the kill onto Jigsaw, and Cairo does go down for relays. We'll talk about a roller coaster of a round.
Still two attackers outside, so EP haven't been able to capitalize on that control and site pressure. Chiefs are dismantling them.
Then Jake Kenner gets rid of too hard, but Bappen! Oh, and Brendo again, as they did back on Bar Games. They do so here on the attack of Kitchen Dining. They combine 3 quick kills to close that out. It's now 3 straight rounds to Enterprise.
It felt like Chiefs had that.
It felt like EP had that.
And then Chiefs had it for a moment.
And then Chiefs had it, and then EP apparently had it. It's going to force a tactical timeout from Chiefs. And Bappen now goes to double digits, 10 and 3. By the way, Jigsaw has 1 kill.
Wow.
If you had said that, if we had spoke to Nate pregame and said, by the way, 8 rounds in, Jigsaw's got 1 kill, how do you think that you're going? He said, we're probably winning the game. They're down 3-5. Bappen has stepped up massively, and that's probably, again, why EP did what they did in Salt Lake City. It's such a well-rounded roster.
I think that would be an interesting metric to see over the course of the stage so far. What has Jigsaw's lowest kill game been, and then what was the result of that match? It would just be an interesting data point to know.
For this stage, absolutely, yeah. Because I was going to say, career-wise, he's had so many 20 bombs where he lost anyway that it didn't matter. But
I don't think there'd be too many where he was getting 1 or 2 kills across a map and they went on to win. That would be a rarity. So
I should apologize. Jigsaw has 2 kills.
Okay.
I think because we had the rehost, we lost the first 1 or 2 rounds data. Also, Bappen's on 11. It's at a 10.
It looks so good for Chiefs. 3 versus 2. A couple of players still outside, and then they just hit good vault timings.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, rapid. That's the second time that's really happened, I think, in this match now, that EP have won a round in that sort of fashion. So you're kind of talking about the way the rounds are being won. The boys on the desk, of course, brought up that the win play for Chiefs in the first half came down, you know, the plants and the quick rushes, etc. Well, EP are kind of winning in every other facet, and that doesn't bode well now for Chiefs going on to their defense. In terms of raw gunfighting, Enterprise have been better. Opening kills as well is now 6-2. Like, that is a big domination in a match where the opening kill has been converted in every round except the opening round.
Five death marks available for Bappen in this round. He'll go for the horizontal clear kitchen side. And Diffuser will be left near double window, perhaps giving an indication as to what the game plan is for EP in terms of ending the round game side. Jigsaw will look to deploy his utility.
Oh, they got shot out.
Some of that being shot out and disrupted. Still has 2 remaining. Eagerly looking for those Banshees, which will disrupt the pacing of EP, especially if they leave the push late in the round.
Well, and yeah, with the shock drones and the clutch drones anyway, it's a very drone-heavy lineup for Enterprise, which on bar games is fine. They don't bring the Capitao, so I mean, they're pretty much entrusting that they can clear out all of the defensive utility to then help facilitate their entry, rather than needing to bring a whole raft of entry-centric operators. a little bit of a reliance then maybe on the Candelas from Brendo.
Magnets ready.
Yeah, that's going to be the most interesting part. How do they look to lay a utility for the final execute? I think Brendo will be key.
Death
And
marks,
assuming they've
Candelas,
dealt with most
smokes.
of that utility, double window is the best win con for them.
Defense is online.
Although Brendo currently posturing over towards half wall, maybe looking to clear out Mez and library stairs.
Yeah, I like the Candelas here just for the top floor clear midway through this round.
Well, he invests every single one though, so we'll see if that is, you know, costly late round.
It doesn't matter if you get the kills, and Bappen does get the opening kill into Neptune and gives them the space. Bappen, another one. Well, he's feeling it right now. 12 and 3.
Oh, wow.
And Brendo, too, has also had a very good game, by the way. He goes up to 8 and 2. And this round looks done. And as I said, unfortunately, the start of this round, in terms of raw gunfighting, Enterprise have just been so much better. Player needing to stand up. Finds 2. Overswings, though. Jigsaw held the angle nicely. It's 3 map points for Enterprise on their map pick of Chalet. It looked close at the half, but Enterprise's attacks have just been flawless.
Wow.
4 rounds consecutive.
Yeah, they've really locked in here. EP, dare I say, dominating in this second half, and Chiefs are unable to maintain pace. EP have had a pretty clear game plan in a lot of these rounds. They've been pretty well telegraphed as well, so I don't think it's necessarily an issue of Chiefs having a struggle in reading it. It's kind of just finding a way to break down these attacks that's clearly proving to be a problem. That last round, it was a pretty classic kind of two-prong attack. You have Bappen sending it over towards horizontal from kitchen. You then have the Candela dump top floor for the clear, and they just, every single engagement was against them.
Oh, I love the confidence of Bappen, banning all my ops. For what it's worth, he's most played operators on attack. Capital, Deimos, and the Solid Snake. Got rid of 2 of them.
Yeah, the clash as well to join the bench for defense as we return to the top floor. And that doesn't bode well for Chiefs, given just how attackers started this particular objective has been so far. And I don't really envision the bans influencing that too much. You could make an argument that losing Deimos takes away some of that verticality here for the attack. So if EP were to have got it in down below, then they can start pressuring those on site with maybe a little more comfortability. So we'll see if that makes a big influence in the round, but I'm not expecting it to move the needle that much.
I wonder if this is also the kind of game, does player, for him individually, he's been a bit quiet, 4 and 8. He's had assists, not at fault, but these are the kind of games where mentally it's a challenge. Going up against your old team, they dumped you, they got rid of you, they've said things about you. Obviously, you want that payback, you want that revenge. But it's a long series. Bank to follow after this. Chiefs won't give up just yet, but need to win 3 straight rounds. Big kill from Lunchbox onto Tuhan, onto the Finkers, so no Adrenal Surges available. Relay's caught. Kyro's been very, very good on the shield play in this match, especially on the Blackbeard. He finds 2 very important kills. Advantage again for Enterprise, and again it's this mid-round where they've been far better. Don't forget the last time an opening kill was not converted back in round 1. Well, Chiefs got the opening pick this round.
And Chiefs now defensively will need to look to get proactive here. Try and find a pick before EP can set for the final push. Jake Kenner is in a good position half wall, although identified there by the Rotero of Bappen. EP will likely now look to try and isolate that position. Frag grenades are available here for the attack. There's so much utility. 4 frag grenades, Lion scan.
Well, how's this?
Brendo can stun. I mean, this is a really awful position for Chiefs.
How's this though for one of your support players?
They knew he was there.
In Cairo. 4-0 on the entry. Big 2 kills in this round. Now handed over the diffuser. Minute left. But they've just lost Brenda to Jake Kenner. Jake Kenner has woken up. Well, Cairo's going to have to, once again, put that gun to use. I tell you what, with Bappen and Cairo still alive, this round's not done yet for Enterprise. Feels like they've already converted an array of 2v3s. This time, though, Bappin can't get through. Jay Kenner stonewalled out. Neptune gets rid of Cairo. Well, there's one on the board. 2 more needed for Chiefs. Lunchbox out of his chair again. And certainly not spelling the demise of Chiefs just yet.
No, not really. I'm a little perplexed by that round from EP. I'm pretty confident that Bappin would have seen Jay Kenner there towards half wall off the back of the early Rotero, and then about 20 seconds later, they played as if they had no idea he was there, or perhaps expected him to have rotated. We saw the Lion Vault. The follow-up was weak. Jay Kenner played it phenomenally, right? Like, he was in a high-pressure situation, had to capitalize with the DMR. He did exactly that, but it felt like there may have been a disconnect there from EP. And they'll probably be a little bit frustrated that he was allowed to have that presence on that position in the map. The fight back from the mid-round was great. Cairo with the double. But then right here, 20 seconds prior to that, Jay Kenner should have been spotted and identified, but EP with so much utility and a lot of time at that point just made a bit of a meal of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've played 10 rounds of Siege. I think you can afford the one kind of slip-up. I think they've been pretty much perfect up until that point. And that's probably just the way that they're going to frame it as well. So Kitchen Dining. Chiefs need to win the next 2 to force overtime on Chalet. A reminder, by the way, in this upper bracket final, the winner of this series will qualify for the Esports World Cup. 2 slots for the Oceanic region. So by qualifying for the grand final, of course, you're going to get one of those 2 slots guaranteed.
Starting shock drone.
Which is what makes this upper bracket final just as good as if it were potentially a grand final. Of course, if they were to rematch in the grand final, it would still be quite significant in terms of seeding implications, prize pool money, SI points, etc. So there's a lot on the line there. And this is a big one.
You do not want to be tempting fate in the lower bracket.
No, you don't.
As plenty of teams globally have fallen to.
Especially for Chiefs, I think. It's not a disrespect thing, it's just more of an EP. Have been there, done it. If they do drop this, it's like, okay, well, you probably imagine their quality will get them out of that lower bracket. But Chiefs, that you kind of enter a little bit of that unknown territory, having not qualified. Jay Kenner.
Well, good pop flash.
Yeah, that's going to keep his position. Well, he does test fate with the doorway cross. Oh, that reposition, though, gets a little bit of damage onto Bappin. Bappin's now out of smokes, by the way. There are no more smokes available for the Glaz. Halfway through this round, opening kill goes the way of Player and Chiefs. Brendo will fall. Flashbang dump in towards Library, but not followed up by Jigsaw, who's still struggling in this game. Guys, 3 kills in 10 rounds of Siege for the region's best player. Speaking of, double onto Tui and Jigsaw. And with Cairo falling, let's go and see every single round of regulation on Chalet. Chiefs have got themselves off the canvas. They looked knocked out. It was 4 straight to Enterprise.
Yeah, they're just getting a little bit stuck in the mud at the moment, EP. Again, credit to Jay Kenner. He's had another really good round. He absorbed a lot of utility early in that round. Mez essentially forced a pivot out from EP, who didn't then have what was required to actually flush him out, didn't have the advantage then to play off had they have found the kill.
Look how locked in Chiefs are here against Bappin. That's respect.
Yeah.
Well, 5-6, respect to Chiefs. They've brought this back. 2 rounds straight. Need to make it a 3rd. Again, Lunchbox off that chair.
They're going to have to strap him down if they make EWC.
He's going to need a seatbelt. Lock him in. Honestly, and it might... He's like, hang on, wait.
He's looking up the strats. He's looking up the strats for Bar. He's having a look at the playbook. I really hope they actually do make EWC.
If they qualify, they're going to look at him and be like, excuse me, fans are not allowed in until later in the event.
I hope it doesn't actually mess with him mentally if he does make a LAN event.
He's playing well in this game, though. He's actually the highest EPS player for Chiefs, which is under 100. It's a rare sight, guys, that you don't especially on a 5-6 scoreline, there is not a single player in Chiefs that is above 100 EPS right now.
Yeah, they've been grinding big time in this matchup. It hasn't come easy.
But there's only one player that's below 93, which is Jake Kenner, and he's still 5'7". His EPS is shrunk due to the opening deaths that he had very early on in this match.
I'd also argue he's a big reason why they're even in this position after the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, so you don't always put the full emphasis on the stats. Got to pass that eye test, and he certainly has.
Shield ready.
Oh, big round coming up. And again, look at that. Look at the opening kills. Not since the opening round was that first pick not converted into a round win. It's had a big say in this match.
I mean, it's 2 high-quality technical teams,
Exactly.
and they're just not making a
goes
large volume of
to
mistakes.
the ethos of what Pengu was saying. Whoever plays better, well, if you're getting those opening kills, you're playing better, you're getting those advantages. 2 teams on equal footing, that's a separator. That's a difference maker. Only 1 Nitrocell this round for Chiefs. In the hands of Lunchbox. We go bar games. There should be a stall outside. Wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to the last 30 or so seconds.
I think the microscope is on EP this round, though, to show some synchronization. The last couple of rounds, there has arguably been some shortfalls, and Chiefs have been able to capitalize and get themselves well and truly back into this opening map. If they push OT, it really will be anyone's game in those 3 rounds.
Have not brought the Dokkaev since round 7. So entrusting Tuhan now on this operator. Jigsaw's switched off. I honestly think Jigsaw's playing the Flores because he just feels he can't kill anyone right now.
Yeah, maybe.
None of his operators really in this half since round 7 have been what you would consider aggressive operators. You know, Capital, Lion, Flores, Ace. These are the more supportive operators to help enable others. The region's best player. Maybe of all time. And he's sitting at 3 kills.
Well, Snake is his most played, and it got banned out. Typically, he'll pivot onto the Deimos, also banned out. He trolled on the Ana a little bit, but you wouldn't expect that in this match.
Another Candela up, all 4 again, top 4, but here he is. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Huge kill onto Jake Kenner. Karak does fall, and so does Tuhan. The opening kill for EP, it's there, they got it. That's been a huge metric, but it seems in this round it may not matter. As Jigsaw falls, with that maybe the hopes of EP to close this in regulation, but a huge pick from Brendo through the hatch onto player, makes it a 2 versus 3 with 40 seconds.
So many difficult positions to clear though. Barstock in play, Library Stairs also in play.
Still Nitro as well for Lunchbox, 30 seconds doesn't leave a lot of time. It feels as if it's going to have to just come down to a push in, swing, and hit your headshot.
Ooh.
And who's better at that than Brendo and Bappen? Bappen knows there's 1 Library Stairs. They're split. That allows Brendo to take a 1v1 against Lunchbox. Whoever wins this 1v1, I think, wins this round. And potentially the map and Brendo's experience pays dividends. Down to relays against his former team. Bappen goes for the plant inside a bar. Brendo's got the cross, and EP have got the map. Oh, my word. A 7-5 barn burner on Chalet gets this upper bracket final off to a hot start, but it feels like there's a lot more still to come. Bank after this.
Hi, my name is Chris, also known as Player. I play for Chiefs in the APL. When I was a kid, I was really goofy and I would run around trying to make everyone laugh. You know, the normal gamer life. I would never do any homework, skip school as much as possible and just goof around. I wouldn't say I was always a gamer as a kid, but I played a few games every now and then. The first game I would say I ever played was at my friend's house. We played Battlefront, the old Battlefront, and that's kind of, so I guess it started the FPS straight from there. Yeah, so I have a sister. I wouldn't say it's always been very competitive between us, but I feel like now it could be. And she's older than me, so she's definitely helped me across everything in terms of just growing as a person. Yeah, I think my competitive spirit definitely came from just me as a kid, trying new things for sure. And I think a lot of people have told me that when I put all my focus on something and when I really do enjoy it, I get really good at it. And I think that really drives my competitive spirit in terms of like gaming, and just anything, sports as well. I started off playing like soccer, and I was very competitive in it. I played for a lot of academies as a kid, so I really enjoyed it, and definitely was like something that I tried to pursue. I definitely stopped because of gaming. I guess it kind of took over, and I drew all my focus from like just like sports and fitness just to gaming. Fitness is definitely something that I've drawn to because I kind of, gaming took over, and now fitness is something that I look back on just for everyday life because that's something I kind of grew apart when I started gaming. My first game that I was obsessed about was TF2. I think just how fast paced it was and like how funny it can be, also the competitive factor of it as well. Obviously Siege came in and I started playing when I was like 13, 14 on my PlayStation, and my obsession just started from console days. Yeah, I think I was really obsessed with TF2 at that time. It was just like a funny game, there was aim in it, and it was just like, just beating everyone in the public lobbies was just really fun. But I would say when I was young, Siege definitely took over that obsession, committed into this game, playing it every day after school, and then I guess I eventually moved to PC. On console Siege, I didn't play that long. I think it was just about maybe like a year, and I was honestly like a complete noob. Like, first controller game, I got good kind of fast, and then when I kind of like peaked on console, that's when I wanted to move to PC. I hit Diamond in Skull Rain, so it was like around 6k elo. I don't think I was good still, but I hit the rank. I think I wanted to move to PC because I watched a lot of like content creators at the time, like Serenity 17, Kickstar, and like the movement just seemed so like fun, and like obviously like the Pro League scene. I kind of wanted to move to PC as well as like other games as well. I think it was just like a lot more fast paced, mechanic based. It just looked a lot more fun. So that's why I kind of want to get PC.
quick you can start out in the driver's seat and end up in the passenger seat watching your own game fly by. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, they looked so good in that final round, Dev, but ultimately EP, and by EP I kind of mean Brendo, brings it back from a 2v4 like
Hey.
crazy.
Give Bappin some credit as well. He did everything he could to drag that game over the line for EP.
He did.
Look, this map has showed me a lot of things, a lot of reasons to be impressed by both teams. Pardon me. I feel like Chiefs, as I was kind of glazing them at the halftime break, I think the reason why I'm so impressed by them is because obviously my expectations are up here with EP.
Yep.
You know, they made it so deep at Salt Lake City into the top 8. We expect them to be world class. We expect them to be champions of this region. So for Chiefs to even be able to come close to them, I think is impressive. And I think that Chiefs are well organized. I think they've got a good system in place. However, the thing that Chiefs are lacking right now, that EP have in spades, is that aura, man. They got so much damn aura. Their ability to frag the hell out, to go crazy, to win a 2v4 on match point, to go 4 rounds in a row, and then start to lose the momentum and then close out anyway. Yeah, that's the EP diff.
Yeah, it is. And I think when you look at the two players individually, as you were talking about and alluding to there, Bappin and Brendo, you know, they are very solid players. The irony that Jigsaw's not needed in a game like this to pop off, and you have players like that, Nick, that you can lean on, that you can look back to.
How many kills did he get?
Jigsaw got 4 kills.
Jigsaw
In
number
12
4.
rounds.
Yes. That was going to be my point, because when we obviously had a rehost, so we lost some of the stats, but going into the half, Jigsaw was down 0-4 on the scoreboard, right?
Yeah.
Now Enterprise, they're going to the attack inside, and Chiefs do something very smart in my mind. They notice Jigsaw is struggling and say, how does this guy usually get very comfortable? He plays the operator, gives him information to make the solo plays, right? So they ban the Solid Snake immediately. And it's okay, Jigsaw's struggling, take away his crutch operator, he's going to continue to struggle. And he did. Jigsaw never woke up in this game, ended up 4-9, not influential whatsoever. It was Brendo, the backdown support player, and it was Bappin keeping these guys alive. Had it not been for that very clutch final round from Brendo, it goes into OT. And I genuinely think that if Chiefs could get us all the way to a 6-6 scoreline, they would also take it in overtime. So it's such a shame for Chiefs that they fall short at the very final step of that map.
A big shout out to Player as well, who was going 1-5, I think, going into maybe the 7th or 8th round, turned it around completely. Obviously, yes, there is a comeback for the Chiefs, but it was stopped abruptly by Enterprise. But the big question is what happens next? We go to Bank, which is Chiefs' map pick, and if you're Enterprise right now, you can't let this story change. You need to direct the narrative. You need to get back on that horse. You have to force not just, I guess, the viewers' expectations, but the region's expectations, Dev, back into your favor. Because we came into today saying, well, who is the better team? Because it is neck and neck at the moment, but this is when it matters. This is when it counts.
Yeah, and genuinely, I feel like while on paper, Chiefs should be favored on Bank because they won in the best of 1 on this map when these two teams played each other, I really wouldn't put it past EP to bounce back from that. Of course, we saw EP beat Manilafo quite convincingly on Bank in the upper bracket semi-final. On the flip side, Chiefs really struggled against Rival. They only won that game in overtime, which is a huge surprise because Bank is meant to be one of Chiefs' strongholds. Like they've shown us that. And EP, like they've played a lot of Bank. There's a lot of material out there. I think they had 4 plays in the group stage, including a 7-1 over Arcade. So they really have played a lot of this map. They like it, a lot of material out there. I have a feeling that EP will come into this game with a very different looking Bank to what we saw from them in the group stage. And I don't know, despite all the positive stuff I've said about Chiefs, I'm starting to lean towards an EP 2-0 here. I feel like they're such a momentum-based team, and I feel like winning that 2v4 has really set the tone for them.
Nick, where do you sit on that argument? I saw you take a deep breath there.
Yeah, I would be with you, James, if Jigsaw had also shown up in the previous game. I feel like Bang will rely heavily on Jigsaw's individual performance, and it sounds absurd to say that one player can define everything, but I do think the Chiefs, strategically, playstyle-wise, they're going to be more comfortable, more sound here on Bank. They were so close on Chalet, a map that is a whole different playstyle. They're actually holding on very effectively. If Jigsaw goes 0-4 again on the half and then ends up like 4-9 or whatever, I don't think there's any realistic world where EP can take the map unless someone else drops 20 kills. And that could be any of the other 4 players, don't get me wrong, but it relies upon that performance.
I could say the flip side of that, like, you know, player went 1-5 for a lot of that game for Chiefs.
But they got the strats.
Well,
We gotta
okay,
look
I'll
the
go back
executes
at
then,
you
right? We gotta look
again.
at almost like your Capital and your Sense.
Jigsaw only got 4 kills, but did you see Brendo? Obviously, Bappin top frag with 14 kills, but Brendo went 12 and 4, by the way. So they lost 5
Yeah.
rounds. He only died 4 times. Like, Brendo
But
is
there's
such
less
a
you can do on
consistent
bank
player.
individually, right?
Yeah.
Just zoom in on them. This is a great scene.
Sorry,
see
we're
all
just.
of
I'm
Let
arguing
them
with.
Take me out of
I'm
this
arguing with a
conversation.
TV screen
Okay.
sitting on a couch next to me right now.
There's no way you
Final
win
point,
this.
right? Final point that I have. Okay, Chalet and Border, etc. Individuals can do so much work. Clubhouse and Bank, for example, a lot more about the team coordination, the executes, the setups. I think Chiefs' play style being that more team-centric focus versus EP's individualism. EP needs star players to frag out of a chance here in Bank. Final point.
Mum and Dad are fighting. I don't want no more of this. I just want to get into this game because I'll be honest, I think
Give me
both
Jack
of you...
Venditti.
Actually, you know what? Let's give it to Jake
Right now.
Venditti.
Jake Venditti coming to you live thanks to the man in the screen. By the way, for those that don't know, James has already punched Nick in the face. Not in person, twice. He's punched him twice. He's almost knocked him over. It's about time that Nick starts to fight back from the screen.
On 300 ping, I don't think he'd win.
No.
And he's also half the size
Nick's
of
going to
James.
throw a punch. Not only is he in a screen, so the punch is going to do nothing, but then it's also 300 ping delayed. So by that point, it's like James has already left the building. All right, let's get into Bank. Chiefs start on defense. And, well, Chalet ended up, I think, by the conclusion, it matched the heights of what we expected in this upper bracket final. It got to a point, though, at probably 6-3, where it just felt like EP were just going to be too strong, run away with it, which I think would have been a little bit disappointing for the stage that Chiefs have had thus far. But credit to Chiefs, they brought it back. They could have even sent it to OT, if not for the clutch from Brendo. We head into Bank now. After that 7-5 on the opening map, which was the pick of EP. Now Bank, this is supposed to be Chiefs' domain, but the problem is EP are also incredibly proficient on Bank as well.
So the bans for the first half, Monty and Capital, accompanied by the Azami and the Clash. And as I look across at the bans, typically for both of these two teams, the only one that does stand out as being a little bit left of field is that Clash ban from EP. Typically they'll go for like a mirror Azami combo, that's most typical for them, but they'll switch it up a little bit here, and Clash actually is, funnily enough, an operator that has seen a bit of ban rate against Chiefs. For reference, typically though, it is actually the Kaid most frequently banned in combination with the Castle, so certainly some interesting prep heading into this matchup.
What do you think of the Monty and the Capital? Does it just leave a spot open for what you're potentially losing to? If you need to get rid of another shield, it's effective, right? You ban 2 shields, that's fine. But then also at the same time, if you're losing to, you know, Ying or Deimos or Solid Snake, so flexible for both.
The Capital is also very versatile, right? You can flush out top floor. It's great for bot hits as well.
Second most attacker-sided map in the region for what it's worth when it comes to Bank, sitting at 63% attacker win rate. EP start on the attack first up.
Still a very heavy roam here from Chiefs. Maybe looking to commit as opposed to peeling. It's often a big decision to make when defending this map. Do you go down at the first sign of contact, or do you try and fight and try and split apart this attack? Even a 4-4 sometimes can be a little more favorable for the defense, depending on which operator you find.
Oh, Jigsaw and Neptune are basically right next to each other. Oh, and Jigsaw's the one that hits the headshot. The FAMAS is good, and he puts it to good use. Shuts down the Vigil Lurk, but it was Tuhan that just went down slightly before the loss of Neptune, giving the opening kill to Chiefs. 4v4, they can fall back to site.
I hesitate to say that's a massive advantage for Chiefs and not playing the Goyo.
Well, Cairo gets rid of relays. Now it's a massive advantage for Enterprise, certainly in terms of the numbers. We do still have Lunchbox lingering around start, but I imagine he'll play the drop pretty quickly.
If you can get to it.
He seems as if he is having some trouble. Does get the kill onto Brendo. Is he expecting, I think, a flank behind, maybe coming from Cairo?
He needs to get down now.
Oh, don't stick around.
Lunchbox.
Don't stick around.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
That's risky.
He was about 2 more seconds away from dying. Cairo did indeed flank from square. So 3v3, 40 seconds. Lunchbox is low. Still a nitro with player, and most importantly, Yokai still up.
And 30 seconds. It's not a terrible position here for Chiefs if EP elect to try and go for the plan, which we know they love. But that's the diffuser now on an island.
Funnily enough, Bappen's got 1 call available, technically 2 charges, but 1 only onto Jay Kenner as Cairo goes down to player. Chiefs now on the verge of taking the opening round here on Bank. They've got a 6-1 record on Bank. EP have an 8-2 record. These are both very good teams when it comes to this map, but Chiefs look like they will land the first blow, as they did back on Chalet. Yokai goes up onto the roof. And Bappen knows full well he's not winning this one. He'll stay at 0, 0, and 0 as Chiefs go to 1.
Yeah, solid start for Chiefs.
Well, player's taken off his nose strip. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Maybe it was hindering him.
I believe that was back on map 1 where that he took it out.
Yeah.
Took it off early in the piece. Not really for him. Don't know if I would be wanting to change up too much heading into an upper bracket final.
He did
but
finish 10-9, so he started slow. Maybe
he took it off and
yeah, I'd love to see a stat pre and post.
Yeah, production. Can we cook that up? What was his
Yeah.
pre and post nose strip stats on map 1? That would be interesting.
And if maybe for Neptune, he might need to think about it. 7-10 for him starting this series. Well, I mean, this was a defining moment because the fact that Lunchbox was actually out of position, had to get back to the hatch. He ended up getting another kill because of that, and then the timing on the Cairo flank was just sublime. And so a couple of things did go the way of Chiefs to help them wrangle that round back, because for a conventional sense of Locker CCTV, it was not played the way you would typically see it in this region, far more into that roam-heavy first floor gunfighting, hence why it was a 3v3 by the time we kind of drew our attention towards the site. Now, in other regions, that's certainly probably on the common side of things, but when it comes to OCE, we definitely see that stack down in basement. Let's go top floor.
I'm intrigued to see how this particular objective has actually been shaping up in OCE over the course of this
Heavily attacker sided, 67%. The only site on this map that's defender sided is actually Staff and Open Area, sitting at 63%.
Yeah.
Which is very strange to even see Lockers and CCTV sitting at a whopping 71% attacker win rate in 21 rounds. That seems weird. I'm going to refresh.
In terms of weird as well, I probably expected Chiefs to lean into the mirror for this side. It's up and available. They've banned out the Capital, which is so commonly used to try and flush that out. They elect not to, though. They'll still eagerly want control of Jan, though, if EP end up shaping for that direct hit. And so, evidently, Body's in that position at the moment.
So, I don't know what... So the track has been a little bit funky this stage. I've given it a refresh. And yeah, Lockers is now 28 rounds, 54 attacker win rate, so it's actually still higher than I would have thought. And yeah, still, Staff Open Area, the only defensive sided site. This site sitting at 60% in favor of the attack. Slow to get going halfway through the second round. Still 5v5. Not a lot has really developed. A lot of dump utility available for Enterprise. I'm not even going to bother counting how many flashes they've got available. It's actually 7. I counted it as literally after I said I wasn't going to bother counting it.
Your brain and your mouth weren't connected there for a moment.
The brain was counting and was like, what do you mean you're not going to count it? I'm already doing it. Yokai on the rotate from Jay Kenner. Well, 60 seconds. EP are going to have to make their move at some point. At any point. And still 5 Joker payloads available from Brendo. Relays takes a bit of damage from Janitor. Cairo is just posturing over towards Square. There's still a lot of players that need to make their way in, and as soon as Tuhan tried to make his way in from the terrace, immediately dead. Neptune with a long angle DMR from front desk. Opening kill for Chiefs. EP look very stalled out, and you don't see that often.
This is slow. Very slow. 30 seconds. 2 gas babes still up, but Cairo is able to find 1. As Relays drops below, but gets caught. That was an intriguing move. Flushed out. Jigsaw under the pump. Trade attempt here from Chiefs.
Kara's by himself planting inside a CEO. With Brendo down janitor, he's only got a bit of help maybe from Bappin. He's actually backfilled in. Kara can't stick it either. He has to reposition. Now, we do have Yokai's available from Jay Kenny. He's going to try and time this, and he does connect, but immediately back on will be Cairo. But the time, if he dies here, Chiefs will get the round. Cairo, though, stays alive. The air jab helping out. Lunchbox was stalled. They lose Jay Kenner. He went in solo. Lunchbox now indeed is solo in the post plant. Jigsaw still on that first floor position. As of right now, Lunchbox can take the 1v1 against Bappin, but he needs to pick up the pace. Jigsaw over towards Archives, opening up below with the skeleton key. But he's got no idea where Bappin is. Now he does. Over towards Airlock. 20 seconds. Gets the kill, but still with Jigsaw below. That feels like the final boss for Lunchbox. He's aware of it. He's trying to dance around. Oh, the tap! He connected with a random hipfire tap. Jigsaw was that low on health. It just took a random spray, and he will connect for the counter defuse. Get off your chair, son.
What a play.
There it is.
And the crowd goes wild. Yeah, what a moment for Box.
Yeah, huge.
Look, credit to EP for even getting that plant down. It looked really dire there with about 30 on the clock, and with the Yokai still up as well, it was really dicey, but they were able to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, even in that, so it's a post-plant 1v2, Bappin plays Airlock, and you've got Jigsaw below on the buck. I mean, that's not a guarantee by any means. Actually, it was 1v3. Sorry, I forgot about his first kill on Cairo. So a 1v3 clutch for Lunchbox. And even there, when he got that kill on his Bappin, 15 seconds. So you got, what, 7 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever? Yeah, that's huge for Lunchbox. That's massive. And I wonder if that gets the team going. When the young gunner is able to make plays like that, it just gives...
I don't know what your lip syncing skills are like, but he said something along the lines of, "I'm so effing good." He was pumped up after that. Why wouldn't you be? That honestly, the amount of clutches we see from that kind of position on a site like that,
yeah,
that is a once in a year kind of play at best. So that's a massive moment for Chiefs. And look, for the first time in this series now, I feel as if
he's
there's some
almost
pressure being mounted.
He's almost the highest rated player in the server through the 2 maps, which is quite important considering they lost the first map, and I'm pretty certain that the youngest player in the server lacks a lot of the experience that these EP players have. You know, it's the new generation coming through, and Lunchbox is now starting to really reach his peak.
Yeah, he's found his footing domestically. If they are to go on and qualify for EWC international exposure, will be a whole different story.
Would you go as far to call him the Oceanic Stompin'? Well, one of them's going to play EWC, the other's not.
The other one, yeah.
Well, the other might not.
One might be playing, one definitely isn't. I probably wouldn't put him quite in the same category.
It's a tongue-in-cheek. It's a joke.
Wow, you got to be careful these days, mate. There's probably a Reddit thread already live off that comment. A minute down into this round, though, range hard breach, of course, available, and so Brendo can get to work from the lobby rappel if he so desires to cut that cross as Cairo finds entry up
done it again.
And the star player from the last round is dismissed quickly.
And playing smoke too, so no gas papers available for Chiefs. Anytime I pump up the tires of a player, it's just immediately deflated. I gotta stop. It's getting actually quite scary.
It's only taken you, what, 7 years to realize that?
I mean, I basically forced Geo into retirement 6 years ago.
Yeah, you didn't learn your lesson then. Maybe you'll learn it at some point. Yeah, tricky position now for Chiefs as they kind of get caught in between anchoring the side and trying to be proactive and find a pick back. It's really not a desirable position. They do have 3 nitros left. That could be their ability back into the round
That's all they've
here.
got. They've literally got nothing else.
That was Mint said on the NAL desk a few days ago. The more nitros you've got, the better of a chance you have of winning. Like the numbers actually reflected.
Yeah.
It's not a it's not a misnomer.
What did he call it? Was it C4 maxing?
Yeah, C4 maxing.
Thank you, Mint. Oh, the timing for player.
Nitro Soul won't save you there.
No, it certainly won't.
And now they've only got 1 active.
Cairo now goes up to 5 kills, top fragging for Enterprise. And 30 seconds, that's probably the last hope now for Chiefs. Time, hopefully, will be on their side. Outside of that, it feels like it's Not looking great, but again for
Relays is
Enterprise,
in the
it's
power
very,
position.
very slow.
And now for the drop. He can contest the drop. This is a big play.
Creep up from Tuhan didn't work. The drop hasn't actually come to fruition just yet at all, probably because of Relay's position over towards Printer. Still got a drop. There it is, and that's Kit down as well.
There we
the
go.
floor. Relays activates. He does go down, and it's a 1v1 from Bappin and Neptune, but Neptune takes the battle, hits the headshot with 1 second left. He didn't even need to take the fight. Chiefs go 3-0 up here on Bank. And on defense as well, for the most attacker-sided map that we've got in the region.
Wow. I mean, what a play from
But
Relays.
it's a 5v3, 30 seconds left, and again, Enterprise very slow. Feels like they're stuck in the mud.
Relays knew he was on there. And by isolating that first pick Printer window, he knew that it was hatch drop and main stairs that he had to cover, and he's just timed it perfectly, and EP just weren't able to trade him.
Tactical timeout for Enterprise. Also, finally, there's a lack of trash talk coming from Chiefs. Like, you're 3-0 up on Bank. You're forcing EP into attack. This is when you got to try and give a little bit of that smack back.
I think they're just letting the Siege and the server do the talking at the moment. I don't think the trash talk is going to have much more influence. EP are
What about if they win the series? Do they do the classic post-game trash talk? Well, Nate would be very happy with this start.
Yeah.
Nate's been very level-headed this stage. In a lot of the interviews we've spoken about him, he's made it very clear they want to be better than Enterprise. They want to be the #1 team in the region. And while it was close on Chalet, there were shortcomings. But so far, this has been perfect. 3 straight defensive rounds. And they get to go back to lockers and CCTV. They do lose the Echo, so that's taken out of the hands of Jake Kenner. He's actually put that to pretty good use in the first 2 rounds, guys. So that's a loss, but they get rid of the Thatcher. That's interesting. It hasn't been played at all, and it's not as if Thatcher's like a very prominent operator when it comes to Bank. Has it a guess? Has it a thought? I said they banned Thatcher.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh,
I was looking across at the replay of the
What did you
last
think
round.
I said?
I didn't know. That's why I wanted you to point it out to me without throwing me under the bus, and you threw me under the bus.
Well, I didn't throw you under the bus. You're just going to listen. I'm standing right next to you, talking to you. It's not even like you're on a screen.
I mean, the Thatcher here, if it is to be used, is probably most likely is the denial against either Nitros or, I mean, the Yokai, so it got cancelled out anyway. Be interesting to see how the... Oh!
Reloading.
Okay, well, Lunchbox gets caught this time around. We know he's been ultra aggressive in this open area position.
This is the same as me versus I9 at 2-2. Getting confident, getting cocky, starting to be a little bit overzealous. And Lunchbox goes 5-0 to start, and rightfully playing well. But 2 rounds now, he has given his life away pretty freely. Opening death in rounds 3 and now 4.
It's also interesting when you consider that they've banned out the Thatcher, brought the Kaid, and they're still playing open red. You would have expected maybe the Turtle, or at the very least, if you're going to play it, you do the fallback strat. Getting caught there is a big misplay from Lunchbox, and I think he'll be quite disappointed.
And the fallback strat, you want to bring the numbers and fall back together, not really this kind of solo play. This has opened up the path now for Enterprise to go through the checklist. They know it's going to be a 4 stack for Chiefs outside of Neptune playing Blue Stairs, which he'll need to be very careful because they cannot afford for him to now play life. The Blue Stairs player typically can play for their life, and once that square hatch gets opened up, they're kind of stuck on this island. But you've already lost Lunchbox. I'd rather see Neptune try and fall back. The pre-placed Nitrocell could be interesting if Enterprise are not aware of this. Neptune's trying to clearly bait them towards the doorway, but I mean, they're very much aware that that Nitro is sitting there.
Yeah, it did allow Cairo to work the hatch in the meantime. I didn't quite catch if it did get opened up, but either way, could mean Neptune's isolated. Elsewhere, player.
Yeah. Pushed
Finds
into
Brendo.
CC, gets an angle on Brendo. Brendo 0-4 after a magnificent chalet.
They'll do the sense util potentially for the drop, or at least a bait out. There's a lot of time left. EP don't need to commit to much at this point.
I like the fact that players still got a Razor Bloom, although as soon
He's
as I was
so
gonna
far. He's so far away though. Finding that
Yeah.
lineup will be a challenge.
Well, I was going to say, if he could get a lineup, that certainly could help against the Sens play, but he's actually already used it now.
I think EP will end up pivoting for the back hit here.
This area is hostile.
A lot of information from Jigsaw on the radar of the Snake.
That's going to determine the round. What do they do playing off that info?
Well, and also if he pushes down bot main. Well, they've just lost Tuhan, and Jake Ken is now active with the Shamika launcher. Jigsaw looks like he is going to push down bot main. Bap over towards open, gets tagged up quite heavily. He's going to want to throw out these ROUs, get them active. Shield screens to go up. Jigsaw, ooh, he doesn't quite win his first battle. Then wants to take on Jake Kenner. Well, player's absolutely controlling towards Garage.
Oh.
Wonderful 4 from player. Give him the ace. Why not? Deserved. Such a sensational player in this region. All 5 goes his way. One of those kind of aces where they all basically just walked into him for the most part. He did search for one of them when he pushed out of Garage and went into CCTV to get 1 kill, and then the other 4, he's just holding his position, and they've all just essentially walked into him. Chiefs make it 4 straight. That was after the tactical timeout. A full-blown ace for the player that was discarded from this former team. Now 8-2, and adds more stats to the post no strip.
I mean, if we compare the way that this map is shaping up compared to the first of Chalet, I'd say that
this is more dominant than
this
even...
is, at this point in time, the lead and the confidence that Chiefs have been able to gain far surpasses what we saw from EP on map 1. And you think about how kind of down and out we felt that Chiefs may have been before they mounted a bit of a half comeback. This feels otherworldly, the way that Chiefs have been able to dominate this first half. They're stepping up in big moments when they've been called to clutch. They're doing so. That's now back-to-back rounds where they've been able to win out despite not getting the opening kill.
But don't forget the first half as well on Chalet was 3-3. Like, it was a pretty close back and forth. Yes, then Enterprise went and put to get. Oh, actually, yeah, it was 3-2 into 3-3, which was the 4 in a row to EP to go up to 3-6. So they did have a dominance akin to this, but I still feel like this is even more dominant than what we saw. I mean, you're talking about 4 alive, 3 alive. Yes, a couple of 1 alives. But those are still clutches that have been won from Chiefs. So they've won in different facets. Well, Relays get through to Jigsaw, trying to push ATMs quickly. This is a bit of an off-meta position. Almost catches Brendo as well inside of ATM. Haven't seen this kind of fighting position before. Brendo on the rappel outside ATMs being aggressed by Relays. And this has also kind of felt like the sort of map where Jigsaw's being a little bit more lively in comparison to Chalet. Don't forget, in that win for Enterprise, Jigsaw only found 4 kills for the entire map, yet they still won. As Bappin falls, I'm going to be honest, Fortress almost feels inevitable with the way Chiefs are playing on this map. Doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, it's very rare we'll see EP look second grade against any opposition, and at the moment, very much the case where Chiefs on every facet really have got control and command. There's a yellow ping available here for Cairo.
Oh, well off.
When it's not your moment, it's not your moment at the moment for EP. And Relay slips through back towards lobby.
Everything's just going their way. Now, all these little plays. Even Brendo, like, he could have been in the position to get. How is he getting this kill? And like, Brendo's trying so hard to get the pinch here onto Relays, but his positioning is just perfect. And the round is done, but they're putting all their eggs into trying to just get rid of Relays, who's been an absolute pest from the start of this round all the way to the end of it. Tuhan's had enough. He just walks in ATMs, Relays with another reposition. The masterclass in positioning from Relays here in the 5th round. Oh, he should have him. Oh, Tuhan quick to react. Jake Ketter then for the trade, because why not? At that point you can push forward, and Brendo by himself outside on the rappel. It's 5-0 for Chiefs. I'm sorry, Brendo, but you're not winning this one, not from this position. Wow. Well, doesn't this just set the tone now for Fortress? It feels as if that's almost a given. 5-0, 2 more rounds away from getting us to map 3 for this upper bracket final. I expected Chiefs to do good on this map. Really good. Their 6-1 record speaks for itself on Bank. But Enterprise have an 8-2 record on this map as well. Soon to be 8-3 with the way things are going. Final round of the half.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
It just feels like Chiefs really throwing down the hammer and saying we are ready to mix it with the big dogs. Chalet was close 7-5. Well, this is anything but close. I've not seen Enterprise lose like this for a very, very long time. Well, for this roster iteration, I don't know if they've ever been beaten up this badly.
Not domestically, and probably not even
I don't even think internationally.
Can they save face here and get at least one round in the half to keep it in the realm of possibility for the second half comeback? It's a big stretch though at this point, as Chiefs look far better so far on Bank.
Well, if your rival or your man, Esports, who play after this, I don't want Chiefs and I don't want EP if I'm either of those two teams. You're going to have to face one of them. I think Jigsaw's in that sort of zone now where he's just kind of setting it in and realizing we're down 5-0. The only way we're probably going to win is if I walk in and find 2 kills.
Loading new magazine!
But it's that mindset that I feel like for this Enterprise roster, they've not had to go into that bag of tricks. It's almost like the old Jigsaw Chiefs mindset. What's been so good about this EP team really is their fundamentals, their strategic play. They don't get kind of sucked into these gritty gunfights unless it's on their terms. I think they're just looking like a lost cause.
So full peel from the defense outside of player. We saw him previously hiding front desk, and so he'll probably look for late flank and hope that he doesn't get spotted out. Particularly vulnerable to the Solid Snake, of course, but Jigsaw is not within range at the moment. Player is being called, but answers that. It's on a knife's edge here if player can remain undetected on this top floor.
I don't think he's going to get droned, so it's just going to be a matter of how is he going to play when he actually does leave front desk.
Always on the move now.
Yeah. And I think he's very much aware of the fact he has not been droned, so it's again a question of, oh, the positioning. That's a freebie. He'll take it. Shoots Jigsaw in the back. Now expects the reinforcements to start running around. I think he's surely spotted. Did he spot that at the janitor door pass? Did he spot Kyra across?
I don't think so.
I mean, we had the benefit of the outline, but with the shelving unit in the way, I don't think he actually saw it. Didn't matter, by the way. Kyra went for the drop, and Lunchbox gets the kill anyway. They know that clearly, with player up above, they're going to try and send sight. I mean, this is just Enterprise being absolutely destroyed, dismantled, decimated. Chiefs 6-0 up. Don't know what else to say about it.
You don't need to know what to say about it, Jake Xenox, did he? That's the best part about having a desk for the post. This is a post-match, honestly. This is not halftime. This is a post-match.
Yeah, well, that map has only got one more round to go. At least it feels that way, doesn't it?
It does. It does feel like that. It does feel like there's only one more.
Are you making fun of my voice?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Hey, bro.
I wouldn't do that.
Hey, bro.
I'd never do that.
How you doing?
Guys, I'm also here.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
Oh,
sorry,
hi, Nick.
man.
Sorry.
Like
You
this,
are the man in the screen, but you, for us, are like, you are still in the studio and you can still interact with us.
There's a real
It's
presence
just-
about you.
There is. There's aura. Nick,
I
I
was
mean,
the third person there for a second.
you know what? You can be the third wheel this whole time if you want, because I know Dev actually has a point. Dev, why don't you make your point before I go to
Well,
Nick?
I
Say that
quickly.
you're wrong, I was right.
All right,
Before
bro.
you get to your point.
All right, bro. Chill out for a second. Don't beat up a sick old man, okay? So I was looking back because, the guys on the cast are making a really good point. When was the last time EP went down like this? Have they ever? And I found the last time they went down 0-5, which was all the way back in Salt Lake City when they went down 0-5 on the second map, Clubhouse to Twisted Minds, after, funnily enough, winning the first map, so seeing a trend continue. However, they ended up winning the last round of that half, and yes, you are right, Nick. This time they went down 0-6, and I haven't stretched all the way back into every single match EP's ever played, but I can't find the last time they went down 0-6.
Oh, Nick. It's, I mean, look, I hate to admit that you were right. Actually, no, I don't. You were right. James was wrong. But this performance from Chiefs, it's almost inspirational. Like, watching them round on round, watching the individual, like, yes, individuals have had their moment, but it's not been the whole game. It's been one round that they've had to go big for, and every single player on the Chiefs have had their round.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Lunchbox 1v3 Cousin CEO top floor right in the post plant, by the way. You did a buck downstairs, somehow he wins that. Player gets an ace on basement defense as well. And from the moment that they were 4-0 up, they started ego challenging. Relay sprinting out in lobby as a defender, and they just were taking names in ATMs. I said, James, what is this guy doing? You're going, I quite like this play. I'm like, it's a great play because it worked, but it's like on paper, it's a silly play to make.
You were like to me, dude, this is a 4-0 up play. Like, that's exactly what it was. Relays was like, hey, like, I know this never works. This barely even works in ranked against a coordinated stack, but I can tell that we're in their heads right now.
Yeah, and that's been the story. Enterprise have not found any sort of momentum since they lost that CEO attack. Well, certainly since the beginning round, but since that clutch in particular, it's been mental chalk.
Look, all I'm saying is Shy Academy would have won this. Back to you, boys.
Yeah, don't go too far, Rob. You'll be needed in 6 minutes, I think. 1 minute. No, maybe 7 minutes.
7?
What? 7 minutes. 2 minutes for the round, 5-minute break, and then back to them on the desk.
I forgot about the break. See, I was just only factoring in the action phase, the prep phase, so about 3 minutes or so.
Well, the real question is, so obviously, James, kudos to him for doing the work and figuring out when was the last time that Enterprise went.
And again, it was an international example. It wasn't even domestic.
Well, the 0-5 was at Salt Lake City. 0-6 has not happened. I would love to know the last time any of the players individually got 0-7 for these guys who are clearly absolute class. And this is actually a bit of a wake-up call heading into need to also calm a little bit down, because there is every world AP could win 6 straight themselves. Could be the most defender-sided bank ever. And if there is any team in the region that can do it, it is Enterprise. So I don't want to completely say that this is 100% finished. It's probably 99.9999% finished. But Fortress to follow after this for a spot at EWC down to 1 map on the newest map in the pool, where it will play very different to Chalet and Bank.
Yeah, it'll be a good derby.
A good derby? Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I think this one's done. My word.
Yeah, player putting salt into the wound as Cairo on the vigil. That lurk unsuccessful. A Nook versus Vigil battle, but it's the Nook on the repel. Jigsaw, what can he do from towers? Is he going to be ready for players push through ATMs? It feels as if Jigsaw dies here, that might be the round and therefore the map. Jigsaw has repositioned back through towers, now mindful of archives.
Got spotted out by Relays as well, with the radar on the solid snake, and Chiefs looking to enclose. It's a knife kill though. Onto box.
They just lost both though. Brendo and Jigsaw fall. Huge kill from Bappin onto Neptune. Needed that quickly. Now only down to 1 player. By the way, it's Tuhan by himself inside of sight. Now with the drop from Bappin, they'll play together. Of course, Tuhan on the Echo can play the Yokai. Really good information, at least onto Jay Kenner towards Square. The real question is, where does play go? Looks like Garage on the Nook lurk. No surprise. So he'll go Garage side. Relays and Jay Kenner can play together as a duo. This opens up the options here for Chiefs. So they have a 2-1 split on the attack against the last 2 remaining defenders.
There's just so much time.
Hang on, no players gone away from Garage. He's going to also join them.
There's just so much time for Chiefs, though. 70 seconds. A handful of grenades. They could stack those maybe like red in facilitating default. Curious to see as well if Relays has a charge remaining on that radar, which could really help.
He's going to go back Garage, is he?
Identifying this defense.
Don't follow me.
Yeah, I don't know if this... it feels like this position right now for EP is putting all the trust in this Yokai. Yeah, this is interesting. So surface side Yokai has the intel on Jay Kenner. Again, they don't really have much to play off it. Garage position for player has also then got the cross. So they don't really have that ability to actually cross over. Tuhan back up main stairs. He goes searching. If he pushes Beepers, though, talk about position. Relays is Reti. Hits the headshot down to Bappen. And the plant will be successful. Bappen can't even beat out player. They just got 7-0'd on Bank. Absolute domination from Chiefs as Fortress is required to close out this upper bracket final. A spot at the Esports World Cup will come down to Fortress and Fortress alone. 7-0.
In the early days of Siege, like on PC, during like my high school time, when I was still under 18, I was playing with pros like Dino, Rippy, and just like all those pros back in the day. And then it kind of started from 10-mans, I would say. That's kind of like how most of the pros knew me, as well as ranked, obviously. But yeah, I was just getting into myself into like, I guess you could call it networking, but I would get myself into like good stacks, like playing with Stigs, Magnet, and just like dominating like the 10-mans lobbies. That's where all the pros knew me as like kind of like this young prodigy. I was always like this young person like in the scene, like always playing with older people. So I guess that's how I got my name out there. I was 16 and I was just able to play LPL Pro, and I was in my first proper team, and it was under Skyfire with like Jigsaw. In that stage, I think we came second to a Pro League team at the time where Oda was in it, Ferox. But it was like my first time basically competing properly, and like I came second in it, and it was against a Pro League team. People are very beatable, you know, like, you know, if you put the effort in, like you can definitely beat these teams. Obviously we fell short, but that's when kind of the esports, you know, ignited in me. Siege is honestly like such a different game from like any other game. The thinking behind Siege is so complex that new people playing the game would just never understand until they got to that level. The amount of thinking, the amount of processes you have to do, and like so many little intricate things that can like determine a round drew me towards the game. It's like you have to really think to really be the best. So when I turned 18, I got my first offer to join my first Pro League team, and I was with Juicy, Josh, Quiz, and OJ. I felt very like inexperienced at the time because I was with like proper Pro League players, obviously with Knights, with those three, and then OJ from Wildcard. I learned a lot from it. We obviously didn't do very well. I think we came around 4th. We lost to like our rivals at the time, which was Wildcard. That was honestly like a really bad feeling, as well as losing to Circular Fizz. That stage was honestly so shit. Definitely felt like a lot of nerves that stage, but I think I grew a lot as a player from that stage, 100%. So after that first stage of Pro League, I think I was still playing under like just because I was already good at the game and I already had this offer that I just wanted to keep playing for fun. It wasn't really like, you know, I want to commit my whole life to this right now. And I think after Homeless, I joined Circular Fizz, which turned into Aerial. And by my performance at stage, I definitely showed that I was a good player, but not in the right team yet. Because I think we came around 6th, and obviously it wasn't a good showing. I think I was still in that top 10 rated at the time. During the time when I was 18, just competing my second stage, I think I was doing my HSC. I'd recently just like got into like a fight with my like friend group and kind of split ways with them. So I was honestly like very over just like school. I kind of threw HSC out the window. I don't want to really go uni after this. Maybe take a gap year or whatever, and just kind of focus on Siege fully, because that was my passion. That's what I was good at. I wanted to keep pursuing it.
I tell you what. No one in the history of OCE would be able to have told me going into that map that it was going to be flawless for the Chiefs.
Do you know
never.
what?
Please
It's
tell me.
never happened before.
Ever
Nobody
happened before.
has ever 7-0 to EP. Even at the World Championships, even at Majors, SI, the best any team has ever done against EP is a 7-1. It's happened twice. Team Secret did it at Six Invitational this year, who were, by the way, the runners-up of the whole event. Furia did it back at the Munich Major. Only 2 times we've ever seen EP pushed that hard, and Chiefs have just taken them for a ride.
Yeah, they certainly have. And Nick, going into that match, we had said that if Enterprise were to do it, it was going to be on the back of an individual performance.
Yeah.
I don't think that even a 20 bomb would have got him out of that instance.
I don't think so either. This was very much, the help of Bappen and Brendo popping off on Chalet, doing pretty good, dropping double digits and whatnot, and saving them from going to overtime. Then we go into ban. Brendo is 0-7. He dropped the gym spawn, right? Completely invisible in the server. And if you look at the other scorelines, nobody's making up for it. And this is not me going to Brendo and saying, he's at fault. But the history here for EP since the Superstar roster was created is that someone is always popping off and dropping insane amounts of kills, finding the gaps, making the plays, getting the clutches, shutting down their opponent. No one stepped up for the first time for EP all stage long. Nobody's positive or even neutral in the server. Everyone's negative. This never happens. That with some incredible individual performances from the side of Chiefs, the lunchbox clutch, player dropping an ace, going 11-2. That is how you get yourself into this 7-0 scoreline.
And moving across to Fortress is a very intriguing discussion, because as we look at Fortress and as we start to dissect what to expect, it's an EP favored map, but I think at this point in this... Can you guys... Did you hear that?
What is it?
I think someone just parked out the front. Oh, it's Lunchbox!
Finally got the bro seatbelt.
Y'all better strap in, including Lunchbox, for what will be a third and deciding map here for the EWC spot. And that is probably the biggest statement I think I've made for the Chiefs. Like, yes, they did well in kickoff.
Yeah.
But right now, they are riding momentum. My God!
God damn it. He's never there.
Hey, come on.
Bro, okay.
No, never mind.
I have two
Debated.
solutions to this. I have 2 solutions. 1, we put a bell on him. 2, we put one of those backpacks on them that mums take to, Disney World. And it's just and they're running around. Or actually 3, how about we just give him a seatbelt?
This is when I take my dog to the shops and I try and tie her up. You gotta tie this guy down, otherwise he's gonna keep following you around.
I genuinely wonder what happens. What happens when he goes to Paris?
What's he doing? Is he cooking, or is he? I don't know. Is he going for a jog? Is he got doing some exercises off camera? What's we're up to? I would really love to know.
I think he's got ants in his pants. I think we've figured it out. He has ants in his pants. But ultimately, we joke about it, but he did just 7-0 and mog Enterprise on Bank. So, look, we move over to Fortress now, Nick, and this is a super critical map here. Not just for the context of EWC, but also for the context of the storyline for EP. We came into this year going, EP is going to dominate the region, they're going to look the best, and quite frankly, they have been at every single point, they have been met by the Chiefs at their level.
Yeah. I'm very curious, actually. On paper, I would say Fortress is going to favor EP significantly more.
Yep.
But given the bank matchup, the confidence, the mental game were much more even. I think there's 2 very important things to look at here if you're Chiefs, right? Either you're going to focus the individual playstyles of Enterprise, shut down operate events like your Deimos, your Solid Snake, maybe a Shield, weaken the roam clear when they're attacking, weaken their individual prowess, or you're gonna go, okay, they're not hitting their shots, and they were super slow at executing every single on Chalet attacks and as well as Bank. So what if we ban operators like your Capital, a Heartbreacher, a Grim? What if we make it even harder for them to execute? Because they've been struggling on the timer, often getting to the bomb site with 7 seconds left in the round, and it's way too little. So I think Chiefs are in a position where they maybe have too many options that are gonna work well for them. And I'm very curious to see when we get there, what style they're gonna opt for.
Yeah, I feel like Fortress is a hard map for Chiefs, and yes, they have the momentum going into it, but remember these 2 teams faced off for a spot at the Salt Lake City Major on this map. It was a really close one, and EP won it 7-5, right? We're about to be in almost exactly the same scenario where whoever wins this next game on Fortress goes to EWC. The second does have a second chance down through that lower bracket. But for Chiefs, the big thing that I took away from that game a couple months ago was that they really struggled on the attacking side. What I really want to see from them, because we know how good they are with those shields, how they love to go for those crazy executes, they're good at using these smokes. What I want to see is I want to see some creative defensive bans. Don't just go with the same normal standard stuff that everyone else does. Go for a Warden, go for a Smoke, go for a Goyo. Do something that enables that aggressive playstyle, enables those shields. Let in the mirror. I don't care about it. Like, hard counter that stuff. Like, let in the hard breach denial, like the Kaid and Bandit. You can counter that. That plays into Chiefs' strengths. I want them to really leverage what they're good at and focus on winning 3 attack rounds. I think if they can't win 3 attack rounds, it's going to be pretty much impossible for Chiefs to win. And Chiefs are the ones who are gunning for an upset right now. Like, they've won more rounds so far in this series. They've 7-0'd EP for the first time ever. And they've got 3 players that have never been to an international event before. It would be incredible to see Lunchbox, Jacana, and Neptune.
Say that with your chest. Neptune, but...
Mate, the chest is all I've got
that's very true. That is all you've got. But
particularly for Nep. I mean, he's been such a mercenary for the last few years. You know, he's played on Kelton's Knights, for goodness sake. He's bounced around Circular Spheres. I remember playing that guy in ranked all the time years ago, back when his name was iDark Neptune. Like, he's been around forever. And this is finally, he's looking like a world-class player. I want to see this team step up, but they're going to have to get creative on that attacking side.
They certainly are. And one of the big storylines that we were talking about at the very start coming into this were once brother-in-arms, now competitors. You know, there are 2 players on either sides that used to play with each other, 2 of those being... Well, obviously, there's actually 2 on both sides. Apologies, let me just make sure I make that abundantly clear. But the big one for me is Player and Bappin, because I think that both of them have left their mark, not just in this game, but overall, they're really starting to make themselves quite well known in the region. Both of them were, if you had said to me at the start of last year, Dev, that Bappin and Player may be the best players we have in a international deciding match, I would have said to you, you're barking mad. They're great players, but there's no way they could impact a series like this. Woof, baby, woof. Because both of them collectively are at the top ends of their respective teams. 21 and 11 for Player right now, 17 and 14 for Bappin. And there you go, the Solid Snake. What do you think of the bans really quickly, Nick, before we get into this?
Very big fan here. So I mentioned like the demos, the Solid Snake or Shield, and they got kind of both here. Solid Snake for 6-0 counter and a Blitz against roam clear. They're forcing Enterprise to play a slower style of play, which they've been a lot weaker at so far in this best of 3. And I think this just baseline, a great Arbiter pen selection here for Chiefs.
Well, we were here little less than, I think, 3 months ago now, and so we appear back onto Fortress. Chiefs, Enterprise, the winner of this matchup goes through to EWC, while the loser has to fight through the lower bracket for the second opportunity. Let's get underway with this one. Xenox, Guz, enjoy.
I think we're all going to enjoy this one. Fortress, maybe not exactly as high-flying as Chalet and Bank when it comes to the map, but the game itself and all of, well, I guess the storylining is pretty easily developed.
10 seconds to go.
Win, and you go to the Esports World Cup, which would be remarkable for Chiefs, considering Player relays dumped by EP to then beat them to qualify. Talk about Lunchbox on LAN. Hey, what about Jay Kenner? What a story that would be as well for a player that has had a storied career within the Oceanic region, but really up until maybe, what, 6 to 12 months ago, was never really one you would consider as playing at an international event. But Enterprise, well, you just know they're going to bite back here on Fortress.
Starting out on attack though, when we know how much of a grind this style of map can be. Typically will be map sweeps, often then funneled into sort of 2 channels. A lot of util clearance typically expected of the attack here on Fortress. And it can be a real grind. As being displayed now, the Goyo in play, Tachanka as well, so the stall out is strong, double trap as well. And Jay Kenner will offer some good counterplay onto the Ying as well, being brought by Cairo. I think the coordination of EP is really going to be tested here in the first 6 rounds, and it was a big sore point for them back on bank, where they were often put in positions where they just couldn't quite problem solve their way out, and when they did, it was a little bit all over the place. Chiefs made them look uncomfortable on map 2, and they'll be looking to replicate that here on the 3rd.
I haven't seen a lot of Fortress in the Oceanic region, although another region we cover, which is the NAL, they play a lot of Fortress. So we've been able to see this map quite a bit throughout this stage, but not in this region. One thing though, it does play slow, and this round is no different. It is player that gets the opening kill onto Brendo, death mark from Jigsaw onto Lunchbox over towards Bathroom. Player wanting to play the angle, and whoa, what a headshot onto Tuhan. Kara is going to run deep through the flames, though, to catch out player at the hallway. I don't think he was expecting that dash from Cairo. Razor Bloom would have killed him. Relay's able to swing. As Cairo was retreating, he gets the second onto him as he pushes forward, and it's down to Bappin. Well, the desk labeled it as such that it's either player or Bappin leading their teams. Bappin cannot lead them to victory in the opening round. Shut down by Neptune. Chiefs will take the opening round on Commander Bathroom.
And that extends the streak now. 8 straight for Chiefs, and they'll be looking to compound that as high and as mighty as they can, and Defense Fortress can offer them that opportunity to build a strong lead and really try to crush the mental of EP, which I think was certainly tested back on bank. Difficult to obviously say from our position whether it was ultimately a determining factor. I think Chiefs overall just played a better bank and the mental wasn't particularly relevant, but in this 3rd map with their backs now slowly encroaching on that wall, EP will need to be mindful of taming that and being conscious of it going forward and not letting that mental unravel. Fortunately for them, they do have Mag in their corner. We heard those timeouts, particularly at the Salt Lake City Major, and how influential those were in resetting the boys and setting them up tactically. Maybe there will be a similar position in this map where he can have influence in helping his talented team across the line. For Chiefs on the flip side, though, defensively, they'll just be looking to keep it compactive. Try and make EP work for this map control. Force them to use that utility. Force them to take risk. Because when they've risk taken over the last, now, 8 rounds, it hasn't really paid out for them on a lot of occasions. And even when it has, Chiefs have showed that clutch ability now.
Again, a reminder as we're into the 3rd and final map. This is the upper bracket final. 2 slots in the region means the winner of this qualifies for the grand final, which means guaranteed a position at the Esports World Cup. What that position will be determined by the grand final itself. But if you're a team like Chiefs, you're far more amped at just getting in there.
Yep.
For EP, if they were to win tonight and had it done so comfortably, I think they just would have, kind of been happy, been content, but I don't think they would have been too celebratory. On the flip side, the Chiefs win this match of Fortress. I think they'll be celebrating all night.
The util layer there for the hard breach to enable the ace to be activated from Tuhan, those Selmas. Just getting to work and exposing in the objective and just making Relay's position on the warden here a little bit more tricky to hold, boxing him into that position, and he'll be largely relying on that deployable shield doing the heavy lifting in terms of offering that protection from Old Tower, especially if and when Lunchbox is forced back. But for now, he's applying good pressure as we eclipse the midpoint of the round. He's taken low, then flashed. A Nitro in response from Box, but not having influence. Does a good job though in staying alive and can impact the round by exploiting those canisters.
I mean, it's the fact that he still holds that space as well, so low on health. He knows he's probably going to die at some point in this round, but he's not scared of that. Oh, Tuhan had the chance and then went back for seconds, but beaten out by Jake Henner. Jakey gets the opening pick for Chiefs. And that's a metric that's been largely dominant in the entire series. Across all 3 maps, there's only been 3 rounds where the opening kill has not been converted. And we're into map 3, 2nd round of that. And it seems like that might just continue with Bappin going down into the grave of the hands of Neptune. And imagine if he really gets going. Neptune's been quiet in the series. We know he's capable of really influencing matches, double digits, high scores. And suddenly time started to expire for Enterprise on this attack. They're struggling a little early on here on Fortress. Chiefs are looking pretty active on the defense, holding good positions, stalling out a lot of the area around the sites. Jigsaw's up, but not baiting here on the hallway swing. Finally forces out. But there's only 8 seconds left into the round, and they don't even have the kit in hand. Player does go down. Jigsaw will go searching for the kills, and the kills have been acquired. But where's that kit? The time. Oh, Brendo steals it for Enterprise with 1 second left into the round. They did not have the kit. They did not have the time. But Brendo comes up clutch again. Some of that chalet Brendo.
Wow, the kit was outside breach. Unfortunate position there for Neptune.
Well, Chiefs don't know that.
He doesn't know. Clearly dropped and not identified there by the defense. Otherwise, Neptune would have just tucked and played time.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
Whoa,
defused.
Well, that is a big round.
They needed that. It was 8 straight.
That gets EP back into the mix to clutch up a round like that on a map like Fortress. That's a big one. I think there was about 1.5 seconds on the clock. That was a huge round from EP.
And just to confirm as well, interesting little stat. That is the first time in this entire series that Chiefs got the first kill and didn't then go on and win the round. First time it's happened. Add in the fact that, for all intents and purposes, that's a clutch. And that was 3-1 in favor of Enterprise, but you've got maybe 1.5 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look back on off screen here. Very difficult to fault Chiefs in that round. About a minute on the clock, 2-arm was out breach, and a long range shot took him out. So there was really no way of them knowing that the diffuser was dropped.
Was that the J-Canna fight? Yeah.
Yeah, he was all the way in games, long range duel. It wasn't a case of someone swinging the breach close and it should have been relayed.
Someone could have also reacquired it.
Exactly.
With a whole minute on the clock, yeah. Well, huge round for Enterprise. They needed that one. It was 8 straight up until that point to win it in that fashion. And the good news for Enterprise is that at the end of the day, whatever happened on Bank has happened. It's only 1-1 now on Fortress. It's not like you're 8-1 down. That streak on Bank is over. Doesn't affect this map of Fortress. In terms of serious numbers, up until this point, only a single player across the 10 in the lobby has got over 20 kills. That's player with 23. Next best is Bappen with 19. 2-0 on the entry. 4-1 for player on the entry. They've been the best two. Imagine Bappen and player on the same team. Could you imagine? Oh, Jigsaw gets the opening kill onto Lunchbox. Lunchbox starts 0-3.
Yeah, just hesitated for a fraction of a second. If you hesitate against Jigsaw, he will often punish. So solid work. Relay's also caught. EP with a 2-player advantage. Full belt of utility available here. They've brought the sense for that eventual hit. And so now the onus on Chiefs to make a hero play in this round. And who else but player?
What?
Well, that's why he's top fragging.
Oh man, Tuhan on the Blackbeard. Even the shield up isn't going to save him there. Player finds the pixel angle on the headshot.
Probably sensing, though, that he has to stick around here and continue to fight.
He's got Neptune for cover as well. That frag grenade's going to force him into a bad spot. Neptune then dies as well because Jigsaw's... Well, that's an intriguing play for Neptune because that is a frag grenade designed to essentially flush you out. And one goes for the stairs. Neptune is then inadvertently the one who gets flushed out. So Jigsaw's ready for it. Chiefs are going to lose this round. That was a strange 10 seconds. I just wonder if the Chiefs here on the third and final map after what was a sensational bank, if they're just getting to this point in the series now where they know that finish line, it's in sight. But boy, so much work still to be done because Enterprise are starting to fight back here on Fortress. Make it 2 straight. They win out Waiting and Cafe. It's a very strong site for defense as well. All right, the Kings are back.
Yeah, they are. They're fighting back here, and EP looking a lot more positive in their approach in the last couple of rounds. And the additional bans now to be introduced. The Blackbeard, so doubling down with the Blitz in terms of shield play. And the Kaid will also take no further part. Interestingly, wasn't selected at all in that first half. But EP continuing to go hard in terms of that utility. Probably a little late in the piece to be thinking about trap operators. There's so many still up. We return over to commanded bathroom for round number 4. And for the first time in quite a while in the context of this series, we're now looking at Chiefs to see what they can do inside of the server. EP have had their number now in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, they have. But technically, round 2 came down to what? 1 second differential. But it was the flood in before that 1 second differential. That was the big factor, and Enterprise definitely deserved to win that second round, even if it was close. But that round that we just saw there, waiting cap, it's probably the most dominant round we've seen from Enterprise since Chalet. And that's going to be a little concerning for Chiefs. Chiefs aren't stupid. They know who they're playing against. They know the quality of Enterprise. They know they're not going to just quit after getting flushed out on Bank.
I'm changing mags.
This is a big moment for Lunchbox. 0-3, now up against the shield, trap in hand. Not really given, though, too much of an opportunity to fight with the secondary hard breach to his side. And so he'll forfeit that space across to EP. That, though, being the safest and wisest choice. He can look to consolidate back on towards the objective.
When you think about what was so successful for them on Bank, playing defense that first half, 6-0 up, how many of those rounds they had the freedom to roam and lurk and take fights off site? It's a lot harder to play that style on this map of Fortress, and I do hold a few question marks as to how Chiefs are going to go about it. They look very eager defensively that they want to fight, but they know that they really can't take a lot of the fights that they arguably want to take. The contrast between measured control and letting the urges force you forward. Kind of like Lunchbox getting out of his seat. They just look like a team with ants in their pants.
EP might be trying to shape up here for the Turtle Plant Cairo. It means that the util layering here from the Chenka needs to be on point. No Nitro Cell available here to Chiefs, but they do have the Razor Bloom and the Grismot. There's no time pressure at the moment just yet for EP. They can look to wait out at least a bit of this utility because still 15 shots remain.
Cairo going for the plant inside the bathroom. And he's just found a gap. There's just a gap in the flames. They've got no idea. Plant will be successful. Jigsaw got the opening pick as well. 2 more quickly from Jig and Brendo. Lunchbox 0-4. Jake Cannon, the only one left. He's got 2 kills into the round, but it seems as if in this post plant now, it's job done again for Enterprise. It's simply just down to the fact that poor old Relays didn't realize it, but a gap was left at the doorway. A very, very small gap, but a gap nevertheless. EP make it 3 straight. 2 Huns chatting up an absolute storm after that one. They look pumped up. They look like they know they're back at their best.
Yeah, game of fine margins, but EP on top at the moment. They've locked in over the last handful of rounds and are looking quite comfortable here on Fortress. And they're playing it on their terms. They didn't have to really change the win condition they were aiming for in that round. Chiefs over-invested in terms of the plant denial in that round, and that too didn't quite pay off. Chiefs need to find a way to, I think, overarchingly try and inject their more comfort and preferred playstyle on the map, but evidently it's proving really difficult at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't look comfortable, do they? I think, is that probably the right word, comfortability on the defensive side of Fortress, where, you know, you're kind of hemmed in, you're almost forced to play the site, there's a lack of verticality, it's really difficult to stretch the map. You feel very confined. And they're the kind of team that want to spread their wings and run around and be aggressive, and that's their hallmark. But to me, that's almost a little bit reminiscent as to maybe where Enterprise were with the old roster, and maybe even pre-Mag. And where they are now is a more structured and disciplined team while still having the ability to be aggressive when they see fit, depending on the map, depending on the day. But they also have that ability to kind of lock in, play structure, play slow tempo, and use that to their advantage. And right now you're seeing the difference here on Fortress compared to Bank.
Credit to EP in maintaining their cool over the course of this series and being able to readjust accordingly here on map 3. It's the beauty of the best of 3 format. It's given them an opportunity to execute that reset, and whilst it wasn't necessarily a perfect start from here on Fortress, they've been able to respond well, and again, denying Chiefs the ability to play the map on their terms. We'll see the Monty this round, available after only the Blitz and the Blackbeard were banned out. You look at some of the tools available here to the attack, are going to counter this defense really well. Tuhan will be looking to get as much value from those shock drones as possible, most notably into the Goyo and the mirror combination. If he can pop a handful of that utility, that's going to really serve them well late round.
Yeah, I mean, the one saving grace is that Nitrosolve with Lunchbox, he needs to stay alive. He needs also to connect that onto Cairo. No gas babes left. Minute 20 is not an ideal position for relays to be in. Now you got one Grismont mine, the mirror window's still up, and you got a Nitrocell. That's it. With over a minute left here on Fortress, that leaves you very susceptible. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to a point where Cairo can just walk in on the Monty and there really isn't much that Chiefs can do about it. You can see the pressure that's applied.
Oh no.
I don't know, Relays just, I think, got completely overwhelmed. As soon as that wall got opened up, and with the doorway pinch potential, I think he just panics a little bit.
Yeah, down but not out for now. Chiefs are finding picks.
Yeah, 4v3.
Effectively, yeah. Jacken has done a good job in holding down this line.
Yeah.
Oh, but elsewhere, Bappin on the lure, catches player on that rotation bathroom.
And again, that's just Chiefs wanting to be on the move at all times. 30 seconds left, could have just held position. Oh, Tuhan, good clear onto Lunchbox, who's 0 and 5. Jay Kenner and Neptune need a clutch. They really need this 5th round. Still have a Grismont mine available. How lovely headshot from Neptune. Jay Kenner connects as well onto the Monty, and it's down to Bappin. Now both of these two defenders are low. Sends it through the flames because he's only got 10 seconds. Bappin more than capable. There is that Grismont mine, but there's that headshot as well from Bappin. He can play the kit. Bolts on over. Can he get back into sight in time? No, he cannot. Time will expire.
It was the right call. Ooh. He had to try and go for kill there. There wasn't enough time remaining to successfully get that on the ground. Credit to Jay Kenner and being disciplined. Didn't overpeak. And in doing so, Chiefs win on time.
That's a great buy in that round, but sometimes in a series like this, you just need the odd round or two where you kind of just scrape by. 2-3, final round of the half coming up. Back to waiting and cafeteria.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Tell you what, Jakey's stepped up so far in Fortress. 2 opening kills, 3-3.
Oh, someone had to. You cursed Lunchbox.
Well,
this is your fault.
So Jake's now 6 and 3. So he got 3 kills in that round. Big round from Jay Kenner. And that does technically go down as a 1v1 win. For all the technicality. 7-2 from Jigsaw, though. He too has also... it's the beauty of the best of 3. You think about it, you go back all the way to Chalet. Jigsaw started 4-9. Banks a write-off, really, for anyone on the side of Enterprise. And now he's 7-2 on Fortress. Lunchbox is now 16 and 17. He had 9 kills back on Chalet. And 7 and 4, but started 5-0 in the opening, I think, 2 rounds? Yeah, opening 2 rounds, he was 5 and zip. So since round 3 of Bank, he's only picked up 2 kills.
So a pivotal round then to conclude the half. A lead on attack for Enterprise would set themselves up really nicely to claim that first spot at the Esports World Cup. It's not quite must win for Chiefs, but I can't help but shake the feeling that to give them a cushion in the second half, well, not that it would be much at an even scoreline, trailing, however, would put them in a rough spot with little margin for error.
I think they're going to need to win this round. I don't think they're going to have the same attacking capabilities as Enterprises on this map. I could be wrong. Happy to stand corrected, but this defensive round feels vital.
So it's Lunchbox Old Tower side again. He's been starting out on defense, typically in this position, and then looking to peel back.
Player
gets the open up.
Well, he's got a 3rd. We haven't seen any of them, but he's got a 4th. We're getting a little closer as we got to see Brendo just have his head ripped off. Players just ended the half.
Yeah, right.
He's on for his second ace, by the way. If he can find Bappin, he won't get it because Neptune will deny. It's flawless. Player is absolutely livid at Neptune. I'm joking. He's excited. Well, 3-3. Huge round for Player. He gets 4. He keeps Chiefs well and truly alive. We are tied on the third and final map.
Yeah, Player just went Super Saiyan for a second. I think we need to check the health of the desk.
Check him, PC.
It does happen, and I think the reason it happens is the context of this match is so important to both teams, but I think for Chiefs, there's something in this right now. Last time EP were on a third map in Fortress, it was not back in kickoff. No, it was at Salt Lake City, and unfortunately, they could not drag it across the line. They were so close. Nick, will history repeat itself?
I mean, it's very possible, and if you are a player who's thinking a lot about your previous performances and that game in Salt Lake City is in the back of your mind, you might start thinking, oh my god, it's happening again, mental boom of doom, right? We don't want it to happen at all. And the thing that's also going to be changing is that when you're on the attacking side and you can utilize the Monty, which Cairo did very beautifully there for EP's first half, that gives you a bit of a safety net, right?
Yep.
You can work the map, take some risks, get some information. When you go on the defense, we saw how uncomfortable Chiefs they were themselves. So I'm very curious now to see, can EP hang without that constant shield information, or will that ultimately change the outcome of this game?
Dev, it's I really don't know what I expected on this third and final map. I didn't expect EP to dominate the first 4 rounds. I'll be honest with you, I did not expect to see 3-1 on the scoreline.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I think I was expecting this to be pretty even on EP's attack half because like I was saying, the place where I really think that this game gets separated is when Chiefs go onto their attack and we get to see how they play attacks. What I was talking about in the pre-show, the last time these two teams met on Fortress, like I said before, it was a Chiefs attack start. They only won 2 rounds in the half. Second half, both teams played well. It was essentially, it was a 3-3 split. And because Chiefs lost their attack half, that means it's a 7-5 in favor of EP. Now we played, what was the second half first this time. Now we look at Chiefs' attacks. And that's where I get a little bit scared for them. I think that EP have done just enough here. But I don't know, that half, it was great to see, but I just feel like the answers really lie in Chiefs' attacks and EP's defenses.
Nick, a stat that I want to throw at you and kind of leave with you for maybe a final point here before we get underway with the second half.
Okay.
Every round the Chiefs have won on their attacking side has been won off the back of a plant.
Oh, and they've banned the glass and the Monty, which makes that a lot more difficult. So, I don't know. I like Chiefs, how they've been attacking. I like how they're feeling probably off that bank victory going 7-0 against EP. You might back EP more in favor here, James. I'm going to give Chiefs this a slight advantage here. We're talking 52-48, right? Super, super close, but a little bit more towards Chiefs here.
Look, I actually kind of want to agree with you, not because of the Glaz and Monty ban, but actually on the flip side, I did say for Chiefs, I really want to see some unusual bans. I don't want to see them just go for Mira, Kaid, Bandit. I want
the Clash ban.
They've got the Clash, they've got the Thorn. So, look, Thorn, maybe not my choice. Maybe I would have gone for Warden or Smoke, but just getting rid of the traps and getting rid of the Clash really enables the shields. Even with Monty banned, you've got your Blackbit and your Blitz. Chiefs are really good with both of those operators. And even now, it looks like they're repicking away from that shield, but they've got a triple threat. In fact, I would say a quadruple threat with the Ying, the Dokkaebi, the Grim, and the Deimos, which is now being moved off of as well. I think it's a really good lineup. I think Chiefs are in for a strong half.
Well, the stage is set. The next time you hear from us, one of these teams will book their ticket to EWC.
Alrighty, well, let's get the second half on the road. I think James said it best, though. I mean, look back at the last time these two teams played on this map. Chiefs, the 2 attacking rounds, it wasn't enough. It wouldn't be enough now either. They need 3 at minimum to force OT, 4 to win it outright. Desperately needed those 2 rounds to close the first half. They were down 3-1, all tied. And expecting again to have a similar pace in this second half as what we saw in the first. Chiefs will likely take their time.
I'm reloading.
And I don't think EP is going to throw too much into this. I think they'll keep it pretty stock standard. Oh, Jigsaw finds the opening pick from Bathroom, and it's on to Lunchbox. 0 and 6. In an international qualifying match, this is where the mental is really tested. For a young player like Lunchbox, he's struggling here on Fortress.
I'm reloading.
Oh, losing the hard breach as well on this site is going to make it really tough depending on how EP look to respond.
No secondaries either.
Yeah. It's only going to increase the filter effect here on a map which is already filter heavy for the attack. EP will just need to be cautious here though of the lurk potential here from Chiefs and the clearance potential that they do still have with several of these operators.
Big fight win.
There's
Player
one.
shuts down the boogeyman in Jigsaw. But Jigsaw's death doesn't really mean a whole lot for the defense in terms of utility. Although to be fair, most of their utility is already outlaid anyway across the map. Oh, love this from Bappen towards Bathroom. Catches a glimpse of the shoulder of Relays. Does Relays think about this? He knows he's gone prone. Expecting a swing though from the corridor. Brendo does get the kill, but player had the insta-trade. And he does know still Bappen's position towards Bathroom. They lose Neptune. So again now at a disadvantage. It feels like it's all going to come down to player. Jay Kenner to then be the helping hand. He does still have one Candela. Need to make the most of this. But the glasses are active at the moment for Tuhan. 35 seconds.
Yeah, he has the crossover towards tower, so this is rough. Jay Kenner though has been able to link up with player. 30 seconds on the clock, and they've at least taken the Warden out of play if they can hit Bathroom. But that will mean that they need to take on Bappen.
They're going to have to try and get a 2 versus 1 against Bappen with no repercussion, with no loss, and do so rather quickly. Kyra's got a good cross here as well, and does get the free kill onto player. Bappen then catches out Jay Kenner. EP retake the lead. They go 4-3 up. Solid round started off with Jigsaw, shutting down Lunchbox. And while player made it lively for Chiefs and gave them a glimmer of hope, ultimately, EP's defense far too good.
Yeah, certainly not the worst attempt there from Chiefs, considering they lost hard breach early on, so playing at a deficit, having to sort of play into a plan B, which was on the opposing side of the map. Player played a big role in being able to break down that first line of the defense, but then with the advantage they still had those on site, able to establish a really nice cross, making it very, very, very then challenging for Chiefs to be able to fight their way into sight. So credit to them. EP with now a 1-round lead over the games for round number 8. Intrigued to see what kind of lineup Chiefs end up opting for here. A couple of repicks to be committed to. Interestingly, the Sense to be juggled from Neptune across to player. This might be some kind of strat that they've cooked up in preparation for this matchup. Critical though that all players are up to actually exercise that utility.
100% win rate on this side if the attacking team gets the opening kill. Dorm's games. I mean, this could be a mental boom if Chiefs do get the opening kill but don't win the round and go 3-5 down.
Loading new mag.
For what it's worth, that that round as well from Chiefs. I'm looking back at a lot of their attacking rounds. I think actually Pengu touched on it on the desk in terms of all the rounds that they've won on attack in this series. They've had the plant down. It's going to be a lot harder to do that probably on this map of Fortress. They're going to have to find ways to win through different avenues. But you look at the lineup that they're bringing in this round, the Sens, the Ying, they do have the ability to hit Dawn's games and try and go for a plant. Shamika launcher, Nitrocell available in terms of denial opportunities for the defense.
Nitro ripped from Bap and heard that off screen.
Yeah, would want to be keeping that one in the pocket unless he's got a...
Well, I think he's doing it in preparation for the drop here from Jay Kenner Old Tower. You hit that, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Wouldn't win the round single-handedly, but it'll definitely go a long way for Enterprise. Okay, there's the pressure from Neptune. Obviously designed to try and help facilitate for Jay Kenner. Pappen's aware of this. He really wants to stay and hold this position. He knows this Nitrocell has got Jay Kenner's name written all over it.
Might even be looking for the staircase play as well.
Oh, he's done all right here. Jay Kenner's dropped successfully. hasn't actually taken a lick of damage, and they get rid of Cairo. That's the Tachanka off the board. Plant potential now goes up, and there goes Jigsaw, 2-player. He's up to 11 kills. That Nitrocell still available for BAP, and they need the next kill here quickly. Enterprise, or this round could go away. Again, Jay Kenner's shield in the right place, blocks the doorway. Nitrocell thrown out. He goes down. BAP can't detonate it. As Brendo falls, it's flawless from Chiefs. Where did that come from? It's their first attacking round win of the series without a plant. That's the first time on map 3.
That was a really well-worked attack, though. There, Jay Kenner's been really good today. I think he's valued his life really well. We saw a great job Old Tower. Then they started to mount pressure. They completely negated Bappin's ability to influence that round as well. He got forced back. He never got the Nitro out. Again, courtesy of Jay Kenner layering more pressure. Rest of the team doing their job nicely to play around him and the information that he was clearly able to relay across. They set up some simple crossfires and made life challenging for EP in that round. So credit to Chiefs.
And Lunchbox got a kill.
And maybe Lunchbox is back in the server.
And they keep that 100% win rate as well with getting the opening kill on that side of Dawn's games in the region. And let's run it back, shall we? I think you're right, though, spot on in terms of Jay Kenner just valuing his life. I think there's probably been times in the past where he can get a little bit sloppy with some of his entry positions on shield, not clearing out certain angles. It is waiting in Cafe for this 9th round now. Again, big change up in the attacking lineup for Chiefs. They'll flex onto the blitz for the first time in this half. But they do back in the Sands play again. This time Neptune will give it a go. Player read it in the previous round. Final round as well before we do get the next bans for this second half.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see if EP deal with the Blitz or the Blackbeard.
Yeah, but you also, you say that, or it's not you can't deal with both, so do you then bother? But then potentially could create, if you don't get rid of one of them, they can be around where they go for a double up at Blitz and Blackbeard. Thatcher in this round as well from Relays.
Yeah, they're going to look to play for the Sense Plant Thatcher for cover against any potential Nitro. Only the one available for EP. And a heavy vertical presence here from EP. Typically, teams will not put up a final stand above. It is very challenging. There's very little protection on this site up above for the defense to play off. So I'd be surprised if EP look to commit here. And with Bappin down, it's a good start for Chiefs.
Yeah, Jay Kenner's playing an absolute life game right now. 7-4, his shield play's been perfect.
It's been a good
valuing
series.
his life, and then he just dies. I just can't help it. Yeah.
Who's next?
I don't know. I don't want to speak anymore.
Brendo's been pretty good today.
Hey, Brendo's been amazing today. He really hasn't done much wrong. Jigsaw right now, though, leading the troops here on Fortress. Back to 3 versus 3. Jigsaw still low. Lunchbox connects. There's the headshot onto Brendo. The Vigil will go down. Over towards Bathroom. Low on health is Jigsaw. Completely split from Tuhan. Inside a cafeteria. They've got the numbers here. Chiefs looking for a successful attack again. It's Lunchbox with a pistol. It's all down to Tuhan. And there's still 50 seconds. That Nitrosol hits nothing. They don't even slow the round down. He gets caught through the floorboards, and Chiefs will take the lead. Most importantly, they've now won 4 of the last 5 rounds. They have all the momentum. They are 2 rounds away from qualifying to the Esports World Cup. Lunchbox at LAN.
It didn't look great at the start. EP with 3 straight in the first half.
What is he doing? Sit down. Brother.
But now 5-4 and Chiefs in the lead. Goyo Flores leaves both the Blackbeard and the Blitz still up for Jay Kenner, who's been influential in this half, to say the least. EP in that last round trying hard to commit to the top floor hold. And then eventually caught out. It was a great pinch late from Lunchbox.
But it's funny because they played into the top floor hold anyway, so it's not as if they circumnavigated, beat them in that, and we're sitting back here, you know, maybe questioning the positioning. They just beat them upright. And so that's concerning if you're Enterprise. It's huge, though, for Chiefs. So there's the 2 attacking rounds. James mentioned before on the desk, the last time they played 2 attack rounds was all Chiefs got. They have some opportunities now. Minimum of 3 attempts to at least win 1 to force overtime. They don't want overtime though, they want to win this whole thing outright. We'll see if they can do it. And the bands Flores and the Goyo. So shield play will be available as well for Chiefs if they so choose. At some point they could go double shield, Blackbeard Blitz. That is an option. Again running the Sens. This will be the 3rd straight round. And first time that we see the Deimos. Mira as well employed from Enterprise. First time seeing this operator. They dropped the Vigil. Tubarao as well. First time suited up. Command bathroom was successfully defended by Enterprise in the opening round of this half. At this point, it feels almost like it's necessary to do so again.
Yeah, it's looking like Chiefs will try to enable a play here from Neptune on the vert. Jekena posturing for an eventual contest onto Cairo, tower stairs, but there's a lot of utility that's going to be standing in his way, particularly against the Azami. And this attacking lineup does lack some explosives. Sure, there are 4 frag grenades, but those are going to have to be on point. Deployable shields also available, 2 in total from EP. Flores probably would have been quite useful here. And EP, of course, banning it out and playing into that really well.
Oh, Cairo's fortunate. I thought he was about to cop a very bad timing on the reposition back, but the frag grenade doesn't connect from Jay Kennett. He wants to creep up. Cairo, is this the power play? Could get pinched. He has also allowed this push up tower stairs now. Still 2 nitro cells in pocket for EP. 3 Zoto canisters too, so utilities available. Cairo has been happy feet here in the 10th round. On the move.
Reloading. Cover me.
But valuing his life now. Falling back, not trying to overplay his position. Deathmark forces him all the way back to bathroom.
Well, if he dies, it's site forfeited. So well played there by Cairo.
Oh, too hard. Catches player. What a timing at the doorway with a shotgun swing. The Starman for Chiefs will sit this round out. As the smoke plumes. The push now from Jay Kenner. He's been really good with the shield in hand, but couldn't connect with the gun. As Cairo, well, he does connect onto relays. Neptune with the Vendetta. Deathmark was active. That expires. Jigsaw headshot onto Jay Kenner, and we're going 5-5. Unless this Vendetta can do a little bit more work. If Lunchbox can clutch, he will need to clutch a 1 versus 4. He got 1, no more. Bappen sits him down on that chair. Strap in, it's 5-5 on map 3.
And as a wise man once said, breakpoint round 11.
Doesn't get better than this, James, does it?
Not overly concerned for Chiefs. I think the expectation in most games is going to be that site is very difficult for the attack to break down. Your best bet is going to be up next, a random site.
You guys left it too late for the tactical timeout. They're not going to get attack.
I didn't quite catch what happened.
Well, they said that it didn't. They said it wasn't working.
Well, they are now going to have, assuming this round is played out, defend the worst, defend the worst side in the game. Okay.
Oh man, I kind of hope they win this round so that I don't have to hear the drama.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Oh, he's pulled the plug.
Oh.
Oh, now they've called the tech. Well, that's quite suspicious.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. Straight up has disconnected from the server. Now, what this will mean is we're going to get a rehost. They're going to now get their tactical timeout. He's forced the hand. Or is it a coincidence, as they say in the business, Guz?
I would also assume they can change site. So, I mean, there's no way they want to play Hammam. Like, let's be real, no one's playing. It's literally one of the worst, if not the worst site in the entire pool. So, yeah, a bit of a funny one. We'll have to look to get all the players back into the server. Hopefully it doesn't disrupt the proceedings all too much. It's been a banging series so far. If you are perhaps just tuning in, a tight one here on Fortress, third map in the series. It's 5-5. It's Breakpoint up next.
Well, again, I feel like I harp on it all the time because it's a statistic that clearly has a large correlation. So again, here on Fortress, we've played 10 rounds of Siege. Only a single round has not been converted. You go back to Chalet, it was exactly the same metric. All 12 rounds were played, only a single round was not converted. You go to Bank, only 2 rounds were not converted. Those were both EP. At 5-5, heading into the last 2 rounds of regulation, I mean, it kind of points to the obvious, really. Whoever starts well should be able to end well. Let's get the boys on the desk in here for a little bit of a chin wag. Rob, what did you think of the Jigsaw disconnect? Very unfortunate timing after attempting tactical timeout that wasn't working.
Yeah, spontaneous combustion.
This is Jake stirring the pot.
Yes,
That's what that is.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. Nick, obviously, timeout.
It's amazing how these technical things happen, though. Like, right when you don't manage to get your tactical timeout, that tends to be when your network drops.
It is.
Oh, well, it wasn't his network.
Well, it wasn't his network.
Because obviously his face cam was still connected. We could still see Steam on his monitor. So it must have just been the game crash.
Yeah,
but, you know, that happens, of course.
Definitely. Look, conspiracy theories will run around rampant, I'm sure, after this one. But, Nick, I think that the statement stays true that Chiefs are really showing an impressive style of play. We came into today outlining that they are looking better as an overall team, but I think that it's really starting to solidify that their new style of play coming into stage 1 has paid off dividends.
Yeah, I think Fortress is showing that right now in particular because, you know, the Monty gets banned away, and I was a bit worried about their attacks when I saw it, because now instead of playing for heavy executes and plans, they have to find victories by just simply getting kills, which Dick has been talking about during his cast. And they're doing so pretty successfully. And it's about these mini executions, the Grim, the Blackbeard pushing hallways, taking control, 3-1 mini executes. And I feel like Chiefs, even going back to last playday, right, before this matchup, they were a bit more one-dimensional. You know, they had one play style, and if that wasn't working, they'll start struggling. Now they feel much more adaptable. That's a pretty big shift from the first playday here in stage finals to the second. There's only 1 week of prep work, but it's working.
Yeah, I do feel like it's just, despite the, you know, the storyline or whatever saying that, you know, EP's on the ropes, I really feel like this is exactly what the score says. Both teams are 2 rounds away from making it to Paris and EWC. Both the teams are looking just as good as each other right now, and it could absolutely fall either side of the fence. So I don't want to try.
On a knife's edge.
It is on a knife's edge. There's a whole myriad of different phrases and metaphors we could use in a moment like this, Rob. But I feel like both teams obviously playing their absolute hearts out right now. And I think both of them also still keeping their cool. Obviously, it's a very tense moment right now. But yeah, I think that EP, hopefully they can get their tactical timeout, whatever happens. Mag gets to talk to the boys. What we really want to see at the end of the day is the 2 best teams in OCE putting their best feet forward. We don't want to see, 90% of Enterprise today or 95% of Chiefs. We don't want to see the Hammam bomb side. Let's be real. We don't want to see it.
It's really bad.
I'm pretty confident that EP were not intending to pick it, and I sympathize with them, you know, for being in that situation where it was picked. I assume it was not deliberate. And so, yeah, I hope they get their tactical timeout, and I hope that we get to see the 110% out of both of these teams. It's been such a banging series so far.
It has.
From the back and forth Chalet on map 1 to the utter onslaught of Bank, and now onto Fortress, which is neck and neck.
Yeah, the irony here, if you look at this direct head-to-head, this is an updated head-to-head, by the way. This is in the midst of the game at the moment. 34 kills for player to Bappen's 23. And look, you could go to the head-to-head and you could talk about the fact that player was a once great player on Enterprise and all the fun stuff and all the storylines there. But I think, Nick, the clear dividing line for me is the fact that player is stepping up in a series that could potentially be one of the more important storylines of his entire career at this point.
Yeah, it's a classic, tale of you make your own story.
Yep.
You know, you get benched from a roster, you go up against it with a new team, and you're not good enough. You know, we kept a lot of work and we upgraded the rest. That was the tweet, right? It's a tough position to be in. And I think if player had gone to Chiefs now and had an individual bad year, let's say, and the entire roster, they weren't qualifying, they weren't doing well, that could maybe mean retirement for some of these players. Because what's the point now? I was on the best team, I got benched on the best team, and now I'm not the best anymore.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's now here doing this individually has changed his story entirely, and he could very well have a long career ahead of him now because of it.
Changes what you play for, right?
For sure. I mean, for player,
It
I
does.
think his personal situation in regards to competing has changed massively in the last year, going from I might retire to, hey, I'm playing for Enterprise, the best team in Australia, I'm going to all these events, to now I'm dropped, but I've realized that this is what I want to do and I'm going to keep on working. And also, like, I've shilled Chiefs a lot today, but I want to give EP some credit, right? And, we love the drama and EP love the smack talk, but let's be real. Like, after 6 Invitational, where EP did not win a single map, we all knew that there was roster changes coming.
Sure.
Everybody knew that you would get Brendo and Jigsaw. That's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Who do you drop? Well, I think most people wouldn't have wanted to see Fisho go because he was such a good part of that team. But if you're going to not replace Fisho, or replace Fisher with someone that fills his role like Cairo, you can't replace someone like, Fisho with someone like Jigsaw, right? Who do you drop from that old EP roster? It's player and relays. That's an obvious choice. No one is questioning that except for the people that are now the biggest Chiefs fans, which is totally fair. I think everyone would have agreed that Enterprise, the most potent ingredients on the EP roster from last year, were the players that have stayed on that roster, Tuhan and Bappen. So, I think what Bappen said, as drama-filled as it seems, he's just saying what we're all thinking. If you have an opportunity to pick up Jigsaw and Brendo, you don't balk, you drop relays, you drop player, you create this OCE super team. But what is really exciting to me is that didn't just mean that we had some discarded players disappear. No, player and relays took that experience of being the new guys and in theory the weaker guys on EP, and they've taken that to a bunch of other lesser experienced players and built a completely new team from scratch, from the ashes of your old Ludovicas and Circular Spheres. And now we actually have 2 teams that are almost as good as each other in the same region. Like, this is a best case scenario. We can play the drama game all we like, but like, we have won out of this.
We have won.
OCE has won out of this.
We absolutely have. And look, I think you turn me around on that final point there where it's like we all have collectively won.
Totally.
But if you look at the last 4 years of OCE specifically, what's happened every time a team has made roster changes? Every time a champion team has made roster changes, they have ended up losing to the team that the player went to. And that's just the kind of...
Gaming Gladiators to Chiefs.
But even Chiefs, when they dropped Fisho Guy and God Legion, it has been a constant predecessor, slowly and surely starting to fade into the midst. And I think that this is a discussion that we could have for days, but I actually have something. Are you ready? Can I get a drum roll from you, please? We have on the line, Guzlo in a telestration!
Hello. We're going back in time to the first half. Didn't quite get a chance to discuss this back in said first half, but a talking point heading into the second. We've seen the Tachanka only on one occasion. It wasn't on this site, but just something to note going forward. This was a pretty key round actually in the first half. You can see relays here on the left on the Tachanka trying to deny the plan of Cairo, but that line I've drawn in the middle of screen, basically the cutoff as to where that utility actually landed. And if we let the clip roll through, we'll see that Cairo was able to successfully stick in that very, very narrow window. Jigsaw holds the line, it was secured, it was pretty simple and straightforward from that point onwards. So again, kind of the theme of this particular series outside of map 2, so basically map 1 and 3, where small moments have really dictated the course of this matchup. And we could well see more of them going forward as this final one concludes.
Tell you what, small moments, guys, the fact that you're bringing that up is very ironic because across the course of this entire series, you ready for this, Nick? There have only been 4 opening kills that have not been converted to round wins. Talk about small moments changing the course of the entire game right now. It feels as though early momentum from both of these teams is swinging into heavy, I guess, advantages by the time we get into that mid-game.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. When teams are very, very close in skill level, it's going to be the small details that change the outcome of the round. But that's the beauty when we go to let's say the highest, like ASI Grand Finals. It's not gonna be about like, oh my god, this team has a weaker player that's lesser. No, it's like the little minute, teeny tiny details that can alter everything. And it's what's beautiful about Rainbow Six Siege, and it's something that we speak about also having two good teams necessarily, every single year, every single stage. Now we do. And we're having two teams that are so evenly matched that we're going to talk about much more strategy, the small counters, the operator bans, all of this matters so much more. It's not just another EP game where Jigsaw drops 25 kills and it doesn't matter what they did against him because he just fragged better. There is much more to it now.
Yeah. Also, I think in the past you were talking about the different eras of OCE teams. Oh, we're back into the game. I'm going to shut the hell up. I don't really care what. I had a few points.
No, please. I want to hear this because this was a good discussion.
All right, I was going to say it tends to be that the number one team in OCE is better than every other OCE team because of one simple thing: fundamentals. And I think Chiefs are very close to catching up with EP on their fundamentals. And so I think that is why we have two very, very strong teams. But the one thing that EP has over Chiefs is experience. And when you're 2 rounds away from making it to the Esports World Cup, that may be the difference.
Well, one thing is for damn sure, we are really entering into probably what is the most exciting OCE era that we have had in many a year. Chiefs, Enterprise, 5-5. Only one can secure an EWC ticket. Let's get back underway.
And to have confirmation that Enterprise also were able to have their tactical timeout. And we will go to waiting and cafe, no hammam. And so all is well in the world. As Rob said, 5-5. Very difficult to hazard a guess as to the way this is going to play out. I don't think you could really guess from here. This really is a classic case of if you get your chance to shine, you've got to take it. If you get a moment, you've got to claim it. Due to the rehost, numbers have unfortunately vanished, but 13-7 for Player, 10-7 for Jigsaw. They've been the best two, the only two on double digits. Lunchbox started 0-6, he's now 4-7. He's gotten a little bit more involved. Jay Kenner started hot as well, but has cooled off a little bit.
Shields remain up and available here for the attack outside of the Monty, and so Jay Kenner will once again play the blitz. He's been super disciplined on entry so far in this half, whether it be on the blitz or the Blackbeard, in taking space, layering pressure, and even adding to the kill count of Chiefs when required. They'll also bring the Thatcher, so counterplay available onto the Kaid. It's just one player offsite this time around for EP, a much less extensive roam above.
They've inversed it, really.
Yeah, they'll spread their wings horizontally this time around. Of course, they'll be exposed to the vert if they continue to play on objective, courtesy of the Ram. And so, by doing so and by dispersing out, they're going to try and force isolated duels.
Yeah, but the vert isn't really the same as what you would typically see on other maps. It's not as effective. Brendo over to Hammam, which was almost the bomb site. Almost. Again, Jay Kenner valuing his life. Heard the rip of the nitrocells, hence his little fallback old tower. Again, pre-rip here from 2. Harm puts it away.
Jay Kenner goes side.
Nitrocell is thrown, it doesn't connect. And the shield blocks a couple of those bullets. Jay Kenner, if he can stick this, he's getting lower and lower. Oh. He still stays alive. Great cover as well from Relays. Jay Kenner does stick the plant. It's successful. Bappen, team kill onto Jigsaw. He's hit the wrong target. He's taken out their star player. Bappen now needs to redeem. But here comes the shield play. It's Brendo who gets the double. Once the young gunner of this region, he now is the star man. The older head to save the day as it's only Relays Neptune left. 20 seconds. Time is low for EP.
Yeah, they sent 3 above. They need to clear the vert.
Neptune gets 1 and the second. And now the 1v1. 15 seconds.
No
Neptune
time.
can play the time. There's just surely no chance. Brendo's ran out of time. Chiefs are 1 round away from the Esports World Cup. Jakey's gone and done it again.
He was really good in that round again.
We need to, at this point, get a picture of Lunchbox rather than his camera because we never get to see him. But I'm sure there he is.
He's back. He's back. He's ready to lock in. Oh, big round from Chiefs.
EP invested.
But they, you know what's interesting about it, we were speaking about, and I think Pengu was touching on it, I touched on it, the different ways to find success when earlier on in the series, it was the plan. But we didn't think that was maybe going to be a possibility, but they forced it, and it worked. They get another successful attacking round win in this series via planting. Now they get one opportunity to claim the ultimate prize.
Again, though, it's just another really good example of in a match of this high quality, it's such small margins. I mean, Cairo was a centimeter away from denying the plant. We saw a team kill. Those are incredibly infrequent.
And when it comes down to a 1v1.
Yeah. Neptune doesn't quite get traded all like so many big moments in that round. And it's Chiefs now. But can they get the job done? As James touched on the desk, and I tend to agree with him, they just haven't really been in this kind of position before. It's a little bit foreign to them, whereas for EP, this is kind of just another Tuesday. Can Chiefs get it done right here, right now?
I wonder if they might go fast again and go for that plant attempt. You've got the Sens, the Ying, and the Blitz. That's the holy trinity, really, for Chiefs and their plant potential. For Dorm's games, this is a site Enterprise have not successfully defended. In fact, it's only top floor command bathroom that they've been able to successfully defend in this half. They will have to now do something they have not done in this match.
Try to get through that. Stick around.
They dropped the Tachanka. At this point, it probably hasn't been an operator with a large amount of successes, actually evident by your telestrator.
Lights on. Lights on.
And they bring the Warden.
Oh, they go.
And they will look to pick up the pace. Jay Kenner, though, expecting there to be the pressure. He goes pistol out at 6'5", gets the kill onto Brendo, but he goes down, and so does Neptune. And so now at a disadvantage as they lose relays 3 rapidly in the grey for Chiefs in a 2 versus 4. Overtime's brewing. Unless Lunchbox and player can combine in a 2 versus 4. Jigsaw 1 HP, Karu half health, still a minute 40. What can they do in the 2 versus 4? They got 2 RAUs, they got no Candelas, and 2 frag grenades, now 1.
I think it would be unfair to rule them out here. There's a lot of time, and with 2 players low, it's possible, but it is such incredibly low percentage from here, and EP will 100% be as locked in and as disciplined as they have been this stage in such a crucial moment, and they've been given an opportunity now to reposition and establish these trades, these crossfire positions. It's a double stack from Chiefs with 60 seconds on the clock.
Well, he couldn't, could he, against his old team, player. But how good he's been, the MVP of this series. Can he find a plant potential?
No nitro.
It would be quite fascinating. But he fakes it first time, doesn't want to stick it. Player hits the headshot onto Jigsaw. He was low. There's the trade, and that's the round. And we go overtime. Yeah, that's right. A little fist bump from Bappen. They escape death in regulation. All rounds of regulation have expired. Overtime is needed to separate these two, to see who goes to the Esports World Cup. EP will get double defense.
I feel like I'm at a set of Linkin Park or something right now.
The music kicked in. I'm going to say it's pretty high. That's,
the tension is rising.
The tension has definitely risen to the top. Sorry, the guitar riff just threw me off. Oh, 6-6. Overtime. Map 3. Upper bracket final. Both of these two teams just 2 rounds away from heading to the Esports World Cup. Enterprise see off 1 match point. Opportunity for Chiefs. That was also the only the second round that the opening kill did not convert into a round win. The last time it happened was back in round 2. That was also Jay Kenner. Poor old Jakey has had 2 opening picks where the round was then not converted. Straight to command bathroom for Enterprise. This has not been won by Chiefs on their attack. In fact, the last time they won it in general was all the way back in the opening round of this map, which was defense, obviously. I had to, just in case. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say if there's really a favored starting side here in overtime. Naturally, EP will likely take a little bit of favor. But I think it's,
yeah, I mean, 3-3 half into 3-3 half.
It's
like,
marginal.
yeah, it's. I think you'd slightly rather be on defense, though.
It's up to Chiefs to break that trend, and a round here would be huge in setting themselves up. They'll bring the Deimos again. It's Neptune to once again fulfill that role and try to play a lurk presence below. In the meantime, EP established some presence second floor on the opposing side of the map, but evidently by their body language and the setup, it doesn't really look like they're going to be committing to that point. Instead, they'll look to play onto the denial that they have with the Nitro cell of Cairo. I will say that it's a little bit more trap heavy this time around as opposed to raw denial, because they don't have the Thorn, they don't have the Goyo.
They're largely losing to shield play. Largebox dead. He's 0-3 in entry battles, although that wasn't much of a battle on his part as Cairo gets a freebie advantage for Enterprise. Sliver of damage onto Jay Kenner from Bappin, forced back in towards site. A lot harder to win the battle of the flurry of kills that we've seen here in Fortress when you're down a player early, but they do connect onto Jigsaw. Bappin gets aggressive though. Grismont Mine was thrown out, but he just found nothing. The timing on that swing just didn't eventuate into actually running into any member of Chiefs for either good or bad. Funnily enough, now as he slipped back over to Museum, Jay Kenner's then backfilled in as to where Bappin was. 55 seconds, 4 versus 4. It feels like that next kill is just so crucial for either team. There is still a Nitro Cell for Cairo. A flash available from Relays could help them get into the site. Jay Kenner up close. Bappin tried to win the guard break battle, and Bappin does. And Relays falls. Bappin goes demon mode to start OT, but player needs to respond. Gets rid of one and the second. It is almost destined to be player versus Bappin, but Neptune steps in. Divine intervention helps out his teammate, and down to 2-hun. And immediately Deathmark, they know exactly where he is located. Neptune with the kit can go for the plant inside of Commander. Do they have to cross? No! Player has rotated. He's first floor. There's only 8 seconds. Player, where have you gone? You've left this now down to 3 seconds left. You must get this cross. You cannot allow Neptune to die, but Neptune will get the plant. Gets off. Shotgun! What a strange ending to the round, but it is Chiefs that get yet another match and series point.
They could not have made that any more stressful.
Word.
Holy moly. They got a little bit fortunate there that 2-hun respected them and expected that cross to be held.
I thought it was there, and then I look over and he's first floor.
He clearly just didn't hear the drop. Otherwise, obviously, he would have pushed forward and would have been a free kill.
Tactical timeout from Chiefs. Nate wants to speak to the troops one final time as they're 7-6 up. They're 1 round away. 1 round, 2 chances for Chiefs. EP must now win 2 straight. 1 on the attack and 1 on the defense, or they face lower bracket. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we have another series after this tonight. Rival versus Man Al Otho. Losers out of finals. Winner will take on the loser of this match for a spot at the Esports World Cup next week. Well, not next week, this week, but it's a long week. The end of this week.
For EWC, which is in about 2 weeks.
Well, 2.5, I think, or 3.
Something like that. Oh, the tension.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't feel like we've quite had a game like this for some time.
I know. And honestly, I'd love to know what Nate actually has been kind of speaking to there. I wonder if it's just words of encouragement, if it's strategical, whatever it is. Boy, I thought Bappin was about to put them to sleep in this round. It was a 4 versus 2 advantage, and then player does what he does best.
Oh, that round could have gone. That round could have gone so wrong.
Oh, that's us. They haven't seen us tonight until then.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I was on the Xanox Goes Pro segment, but
yeah, well, it didn't last long.
Yeah, it did not. So, 2 chances for Chiefs. They go defense. And it's kind of like what you were saying, but it's not like their defense was this, like, impassable obstacle that Enterprise couldn't deal with. Think back after the opening round, they won 3 straight, 3 different sites. Like, I mean, EP have got the ability to win here on the attack.
Well, what side have they elected to go to? It isn't going to be that
Dorms Games, yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
going to be the expected choice.
Dorms Games, though, was a 1-1 split in the first half. Blackbeard not available, which was used in one of the attempts of this site for Enterprise. The one in which they won it, they have to go Monty again, which is what they did in the second half of the first half. Very similar looking lineup, actually pretty much close to identical, but they dropped the Twitch.
Sting is active.
Dropped the Twitch for the Ace, to be specific, and that's it. That was the only change they made. Which, to be honest, looking at the lineup of Chiefs, yeah, that Twitch could actually be quite handy, but you bring in the Ace for a reason, can deal with the mirror window. Open up breach. This is the most nerve-wracking kind of round, though, if you're Chiefs, not even if you're EP.
Well, no one wants to put a foot wrong.
No.
You don't want to be the player that dies first in this round. It has been, for the most part, a telling metric in this series. A couple of exceptions.
Well, up until the last 2 rounds.
Exactly, yeah.
That's where it's kind of flipped a little bit.
Pressure on Cairo this round. The Monty roll for the old tower drop, he commits.
Pressure in general, but this is, as a professional player, this is what you dream of playing in these sort of matches. Impact from Jay Kenner, yeah, largely ineffective. Yellow ping, those ones that has pushed up. Again, these impacts not really amounting to much. Oh, Jigsaw has absolutely destroyed Jay Kenner, and relays then to follow. There's 2 from Jiggy. And a 2-player advantage for EP. Once again, facing the prospect of that lower bracket. They just always seem to then have that energy. The Chiefs brought back a 2v4 in the previous round. 3v5 isn't beyond them, but the plant going down inside of games. Nothing to deny. If that plant goes down, it becomes very difficult for Chiefs. Now into the post plant, down 2 players. This seems very unlikely. As Neptune falls, 7-7 is inevitable. We need all 15 rounds on the 3rd and final map of this lower bracket final between the 2 best teams in this region, as Jigsaw, a statement made on that entry. Let's do this one final time between Chiefs and Enterprise. It's overtime, match point, round 15. You win this round, you're off to Paris.
What a moment, though, for Jigsaw. I'm looking across at his numbers for this afternoon, and they have not been particularly great. That round brought him back up to 21-26. He's going pretty significantly negative by his standards. So to step up in that moment, hit the double, open up the round, and allow free passage for Cairo in towards the objective, ultra impressive. And that's why he's such a formidable force. You never quite know when Jigsaw is going to show up, but it's typically going to be in those big moments.
That's why he's been the region's best player for how long now? Many years. 7-7. Wow. It's also 3 of the last 4 rounds, though, that the attacking team has won. Could that be a positive omen for Chiefs? Can Enterprise, who have now seen off 2 match points of Chiefs, now get their first opportunity with their own match point, but one of which that is shared with Chiefs? Command Bathroom. This is a site that was largely impenetrable up until round 13. Chiefs cracking it to start OT. EP will double down and give it another go. No Kaid, instead swapped out for the Mute. That's the only change in the lineup for Enterprise since we last saw this site 2 rounds ago. Early Nitrocell from Cairo. Maybe anticipating that early movement from Chiefs, but it doesn't land. Another one available from Tuham, but it's not as if they've brought a lot of Nitrocells. Only 1 left.
Yeah, it was a good read, but Jay Kenner was able to time it correctly and ensure that he didn't take any damage.
They dropped the snake, by the way, for the gridlock. Otherwise, the rest is the exact same for Chiefs.
The Deimos into the Mute repick as well is going to be intriguing. It's going to offer greater protection to those anchors on the objective. And to be fair, overall, EP have done a pretty good job in countering the Deimos over the course of this map.
Apologies also, the Blackbeard swapped over to the Blitz for Jay Kenner, entrusting more so for the ability to close the gap, get a flush kill. Cairo playing at the doorway. He'll fall back. A little bit of game of cat and mouse to begin.
I think Chiefs will be pretty happy though. They've taken a lot of this space without a lot of risk taken outside of really the early Nitro. It's been pretty smooth sailing.
But at the same time, if you're Enterprise, I'm saying this is the kind of round where we fall back, force them to clear us, force them to have to make the play. And therefore, by trying to make that play, likely that they might make a mistake or two.
AP needs to be careful though. They have very limited plant denial. It's really just the one Nitro, right? No smoke.
Player still outside. There's someone I want inside of the building. It's him.
Activating Selma.
We had the rehost, by the way. Player 16 and 10. Jigsaw 14 and 10. It's relays, and he gets the opening kill onto Bappin. 65 seconds, 5v4. Chiefs with the opening kill. And onto a star player in Bappin of his caliber. That is a huge kill. He's more than capable of finding 2-3 in the pinch.
Only 3-second floor at the moment. I think Kara's maybe gone searching for the Deimos, but Neptune's back up above. This is not a great position for EP, and again, as I said before, there's such limited plant denial.
Jay Kenner, well, sorry, not into sight, but getting close to sight now, 40 seconds. Main stairs, love this little angle found, but Jigsaw losing out. Sorry, Jigsaw finding the kill onto Lunchbox. Player relays 2 apiece down to 2E, and Jigsaw falls. It's only 200 left in the 1v3. A flurry of kills to close it all out once again as Jay Kenner is cautious in his approach through bathroom. Tuhan expecting the cavalry to play behind him, but it's Neptune that slips over with the kit. It's a fake. Jake hasn't got the kit. The plan's going down. Tuhan tagged up, tries to create that rotate hole, but can't escape. And here comes Jakey. Glass is activated from Tuhan, but that ain't saving you. Lower brackets, your fate. Enterprises, Chiefs are heading to the Esports World Cup and redemption for player. Jakey's going to land. Lunchbox, strap yourself in, baby. It's a long flight to Paris.
Wow, what a historic moment for the Oceanic region as the emotions, they outpour for Chiefs.
And the somber faces for EP.
That lower bracket is no guarantee.
Not a guarantee, but they will go in as favorites. There's no disregarding that. But you lose a series like this, map 377, it's demoralizing.
How deep are the scars?
How
I think
deep?
I said this last week. If EP or Chiefs go on to lose this series, how scarred will they be for the lower bracket run?
I think they'll be a little bit scarred, but I think their quality will largely take care of business, you would imagine. But who knows? Anything can happen in that lower bracket. Of course, we're not done for the day. Not only are we going to break down this match on the desk, but then later, coming up, rival man LFO, a lower bracket match, an elimination game still to follow as well. Lots more still to come.
We said it was going to be competitive. We had hoped it was going to be everything that we wanted, and boy, did it deliver. Holy crap. What a matchup, what a series, overtime to the absolute brink, and we have teams that honestly are so evenly matched in the server, it makes for absolute cinema. My only concern, Dev, is how are we going to keep Lunchbox seatbelted on an aeroplane? We are going to have to really get some support for that boy, because my God, this whole series has really set a tone.
Yeah, look, Lunchbox was standing up after every round. I mean, Chiefs have just stood up and taken a bow. That is incredible. Of course, there's still an opportunity for EP to get revenge in the grand final and take preferential seeding going into what Chiefs have just qualified for, the Esports World Cup. I can't believe it. For 3 of these players, it's their first ever time going to an international event, and for player and relays, it's a return after getting dropped from EP.
Yep.
They had to earn their way back here.
Yeah, they did. They've had to fight tooth and nail to make it. And ultimately, this is where they're going to end up. EWC in Paris. If you want to see the Chiefs compete live, well, if they get there, if they get through to the final, but if you want to watch them compete live, because they're going to go to the finals, R6S 15 for 15% off your tickets. But this is the best segue I could ever have. Let us welcome in our very first player into EWC from the APL. It's player himself.
Oh my God, guys.
Brother. Mate. First off, just raw emotions right now. What are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Bro, I was like, when we won, bro, like low-key tears came out of my eyes, bro, because like, honestly, like we put so much fucking work. Oh, sorry, boys. We put so much work, like,
That's okay.
into that, and it's like we didn't even you know, there's obviously still finals, but I don't know why, like that win just meant like so much for us. Like genuinely, like all the hard work we put in just like finally paid off. Like seriously.
Yeah, player, look, I'm sure it feels very different for each of you on that roster. Of course, for you and Relays, having teamed up with a lot of the boys you just sent down to the lower
really
bracket.
good right now, Dev.
It'd be very different. It'd be very.
Why do you sound sexy? Why does he got a sexy voice in?
Hey, player. How you feeling today?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, man. I'm a bit under the weather, but honestly, it's just after what you just put on, I put this voice on just for you, man.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, you distracted me. Lost my train of thought. What I was saying is I'm sure it feels very different to all the boys on your team. You and Relays going back to Paris, of course, and beating your old team to do so. And for the 3 new kids on the block, like obviously like Jake, Box, Neptune, they've been playing the game for ages. They've been grinding up through these kind of like mid-pack teams for a while. And you and Relays have helped them get to the top. What do you think, like, what was the vibe in the Discord call, the TeamSpeak server, when you guys won, each individual player having their own reason to be so hyped to be going to EWC?
I think just like pure emotion. Like I think everyone definitely shed a tear. Like I think it's just like it's honestly so crazy. Like even though there's 2 spots for like this event, like it's still so crazy. Like how much we've shown to prove ourselves. Like obviously beating EP in the group stage, and then beating them in the playoffs as well. Like it just like they're just crazy. Honestly, like the inexperience that they have. Like it doesn't really matter because like they act so experienced, to be honest. So I think they're just like right now after that win, they're just so proud of themselves because like obviously they've never even come near an event, and to make this event, EWC is just so special to me and all of them as well.
Nick?
So talking about the emotions and the individual performances, right? You in particular had a dominant best of 3. All 3 maps you're fired up, you're making big plays, etc. Slow start on Chalet, but we got there on Bank, we got there on Fortress. Talk me through that very final round, because what we saw from like the observing point of view, right? You guys are doing the over clear take, your own clearing, you get meeting control, and then you kind of flip the attack at the end. And I'm not sure if you guys communicated this or if it was just like Jakena doing goat things in the middle of the round. Jakena walks into the horse hallway, tanks the Fenrir mine, and just starts ADSing the enemy saying, look at me, I'm baiting it. You storm in through the door and you take the gunfight. How does that play happen? Is that telegraphed? Is it communicated? Did you just feel each other out on the server? What happened?
Yeah, so like, I guess that kind of round was played, you know, in the round, to be honest. Like it wasn't pre-planned or whatever. Yeah. We obviously wanted to sweep across because we kind of checked through our cams if there was water now, because we didn't want to sweep into a cade. After we didn't see the cade, we obviously went to sweep. At first, we were looking to go bathroom plant because there was like a lack of plant denial, right? But yeah. I think we just saw like all of them aggressing bathroom and briefing. So Ollie or Relays made the call just to switch go horse, and we just all committed to it. I was ready to grim out the horse player as well, and Jake was just beaming through the red marks, and then obviously we won that 3v1.
Player, I think I share your emotion in this, because I know what it means for you personally. We've had conversations at events, we've had conversations offline. I know that this is such an insane feat to beat them in the upper bracket final where there's no excuses whatsoever. This is the first spot to EWC. This is such an important moment for you and the team. And I just want to congratulate you on an unbelievable match. Like, this might be one of the top series that I've seen in OCE, especially given the context. But secondly, as much as I would love to keep talking to you, we've got a patch update coming, and we also have another game to get to. And I hate to do this, but I want to hear your final thoughts. Please give it to us. Who would you like to shout out? What would you like to say?
Bro, shout out EP, bro. Shout out Bappin. Shout out Duhan for all those nice messages on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm happy I proved, like, obviously, I haven't obviously talked shit or anything. I'm just happy I got to, like, prove their words wrong and, like, make a name for myself. So I'm just happy, like, the team was able to help me throughout this whole stage. So yeah, just thank you to the team, thank you to my family, thank you to everyone watching. Honestly, I really feel the support, and thank you guys for classic as well.
No, don't thank the casters. The casters are terrible. Player, thank you very much for joining us. Give our love to the rest of the team, and please reiterate to Jake and Box that I cannot believe they're actually going to an international event to represent O's. Crazy, man. Go and enjoy, Player. We'll speak to you soon, mate.
Oh, let's go. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there we go. Pure, raw emotion. And I think, Nick, what we're seeing on our cameras right now, this is the ultimate test of what a team can do when you go back to the drawing board, when you pull together a ragtag team that no one expects anything of, but you hold yourself to higher standards. You hold yourself to a level of professionalism that will ultimately get you to this place.
Yeah, and just to reiterate how they got there, the couple of final rounds, right? At the 5-5 breaking point, everyone's favorite round, they attack Kitchen. The tertiary bombs that are actually very difficult to break usually on the attack. They get into a post plant, but they're 2 versus 3. All 3 EP players are flanking them top floor, and they win the round by getting the kills and on the timer. It's beautiful, right? Then you go to 6-6 eventually. They go for a crazy play. It doesn't work out. Player net clutch 2 versus 4. Player falls down the hatch, has a sprint across the building with 8 seconds left, get the cover, and they also win that clutch. Then EP win, we're on 7-7, and then we see that final round play out. It was such a hard-fought victory for Chiefs with a multitude of micro plays, hero plays, and adaptations in the server. And players said it during an interview, all their hard work is finally paying off. Because I feel like in the beginning here of stage finals, they did look a bit sloppy. They didn't have the same depth or adaptation, and today they really proved that they do have what it takes to be maybe even the absolute best team here in OCE.
I'm just wondering when reality is going to set in that we have 4 former Circular Spheres players going to EWC.
Oh my god.
Never. We never have to talk about that ever again because we are speed running. We are moving on to the next series. It is time for us to talk about rivalry.